to be right here in front of the dais. I'd like to invite Councilmember Michael Julian Bond to come forward, and all of those who are here for the recognition of All-American actor Jaylen Hall to please join us right up here in the front. We're going to take down
I don't know.
just lift it. Amazing.
Where are we going? Are we going here? Yeah. No, I'm with you. Oh, I don't want to do it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, gotta move the table again. Where's Jaylen? Right here. Okay. Well, I'd like to say, hello. Okay. Well, I'd like to say good afternoon to everyone. No, good afternoon to everyone. This morning, it's a pleasure to be here with you today, and it is an honor to honor a young person who has made a substantial impact on the entertainment industry here in the country and around the world, who has really made a great impact on what it means to, dare I say it, be a star, right? But we want to honor those, particularly those who are homegrown, who contribute to our city and our culture. And Jaylen has done exactly that. So I have a proclamation here today that will honor Jaylen for his work, and I will read the proclamation in pertinent part. Recognizing All-American actor Jaylen Hall, whereas Jaylen Emil Hall was born on December 23rd, 2006 in Atlanta, Georgia, and has emerged as a distinguished actor, captivating audiences with his compelling performances and unwavering dedication to his craft. Whereas Mr. Hall gained prominence through his portrayal of Dylan James in the acclaimed television series All-American, and further showcased his exceptional talent by embodying the role of Emmett Till in the 2022 biographical film Till, a performance that earned him a nomination for Best Young Actor or Actress at the Critics' Choice Awards. Whereas Mr. Hall continues to garner recognition for his work, having received a proclamation on behalf of Emmett Till at the winning the NAACP Image Award in 2023, as well as the 2024 BET Awards nominee for Best Teen Actor. And see, I'm not an actor. I've got to read notes.
You used to it.
Yeah. And whereas his commitment to authentically representing pivotal historical figures continues with his role as young Martin Luther King Jr. in the forthcoming National Geographic Disney series Genius, MLKX, thereby contributing to the preservation and dissemination of vital narratives in American history. Whereas in recognition of his artistic talents and influence, Mr. Hall was named the Forbes prestigious 30 Under 30 in Hollywood and entertainment, and in 2022, highlighting his impact on the entertainment industry at a remarkably young age. And whereas beyond his professional accomplishments, Mr. Hall remains connected to his roots, with his family dividing their time between Los Angeles and Atlanta, reflecting the enduring road and representing Atlanta well across the country. Now, therefore, we, the members of the Atlanta City Council, will have the citizens of the city of Atlanta hereby proclaim this day as Jaylen Hall Day in our fair city. In witness thereof, we have set our hand and have caused the seal of the city of Atlanta to be hereunto affixed. Congratulations, Jaylen Hall. Quick picture. Okay. We would be remiss if we did not hear from our Mayor Emeritus, our former Congressman, and for many of us, our clergyman, and our ambassador to the United Nations, the Honorable Andrew J. Young.
Thank you very much, Councilman Bond. It's a pleasure to be here on this kind of occasion. I knew Jaylen as a little bitty boy, and even then he had a dream that he wanted to be a Hollywood actor. Now, that wasn't hard here because you had a number of people who went before him, but it was his mother, who was also a friend of my wife and I, that decided to sell her business and moved to California when he was about 6 years old. And this is a dream come true. But now, I'm here largely because I wouldn't be here probably if it hadn't been for the accusation that Emmett Till whistled at somebody. Now, I just don't believe that, and I don't think the story ever showed that he did anything, but he was a little too slick from up north and came down, and in a way, that's what started the civil rights movement. It was the fact that he was taken off the streets of Mississippi and beaten and bruised and burned to death almost, that his mother in Chicago insisted on leaving the casket open. And that was one of the things that moved Mrs. Rosa Parks to sit down on the bus in Montgomery, Alabama, of just a couple of years later. So I want to thank you, Jaylen, for telling that story and, well, keeping us alert, because we've come a long way, and I'm very proud also of the City Council of Atlanta and a series of mayors. I got here when Ivan Allen was still mayor, and from Ivan Allen and Sam Massell right on up to Maynard Jackson and me and the whole 9 others, we have kept a dream alive here, and we've kept the city growing. And I'm probably most proud of the fact that we got together with Zell Miller and put in a Hope Scholarship, and 60% of our population has had a college education. And there's no other city in the world that has been able to build itself up And as you have here in the city of Atlanta, and this city council has been in many ways responsible for every legislation that has helped make us keep pace with history. And so thank you very much, Councilman Barn, and thank you, the citizens who come here to show your respect and your appreciation, and I'm sure they're going to do what's right.
My husband has spoken about the men, but I want to speak about his mother, Ananice Jones. His mother was an example. She came to my house when he was 2 years old because Tyrese Gibson was sitting at my table eating food. And I had 2 Rhodesian Ridgeback dogs from South Africa. And they are very dangerous dogs. And his mother and Jennifer came in hollering and stuff. And he said, "Mother, they won't bite you if you don't show fear. Fear will cause anything to hurt you." And I said, "No, this little boy, 2 years old, talking like this?" And he went over and he shook Tyrese's hand. And he said, "I've always wanted to meet you, and thank you." And Anise Jones, who pulls everything together, who pulls us together. She's Dr. Anise Jones, and she worked very hard on this. And we have been several places. And if you would just indulge us one moment to let Jaylen speak and tell you about why he is and who he is and why he is what he is. Jaylen. No.
Well, we're going to let Jaylen speak, but we have to acknowledge from whence Jaylen came, the spring that brought him forth. So we'd like to ask his father and mother if they'd like to say a word.
Come here, go ahead, ladies first. Go ahead.
I'm a crybaby. I'm just proud and so thankful. You a blessing, Jaylen. Something I thought I never had. But I love you so much, and continue to grow. Continue to be a blessing to others as well as yourself. I love you so much. I'm not working no more. You're going to take care of me the rest of your life. But I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I love you, son.
I don't know how I'm going to top that one, but I just want to tell you thank you, Queen. But first of all, I just want to thank God. Without God, you can't do nothing. With God, you can do everything. Son, I just want to tell you, to the world, I'm your biggest fan. I'm your #1 fan. And to all the kids out there, Jaylen Color, no disrespect, the sky's the limit. You know, when you got to keep God first, and you got a great surrounding, it's nothing impossible. I just want to tell you, son, I love you. And this was greatness look like. Keep it up. Thank you.
How am I going to follow that up? First off, I want to thank everybody that's here with me today. I'm always a family-oriented person. You know, when people ask me, like, what are my favorite things to do when I go outside or have fun, I always say I don't care what I'm doing. I care who I'm doing it with. And I can't think of anyone better to receive such an amazing award, such an amazing honor today than the people who are beside me today. I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad. I love you, Grandma. I love all my cousins, aunties, uncles, everybody who's up here with me today. And I love the great city of Atlanta for honoring me and helping me, aiding me in my journey to bring greatness not only to my last name and to the name of everyone surrounded by me, but to the city itself. And I vow to keep that train going. I vow to continue to chase my goals and dreams to their reality, then make some more and get those too. So thank you. I love everybody standing up here today. I love everybody out there. And y'all continue to have a great day.
Let's give this young man a big round of applause. Atlanta's own. Atlanta's own. So just not to be remiss, any of my colleagues want to add a word? Anything? No, he said it all? Okay. All right, so let's lean in and take, you want to say something?
Young man, you sound like Atlanta. When the world is looking at Ant-Man because he playing sports, right? Yes. And they're looking at you when you're in the movies, but y'all are what we build. Y'all are literally our biggest export is what we invest in. Yes. When I hear your daddy pour into you, I hear your mama pour into you. What they did when you were 6. Come on, man, that's Atlanta right there too, by the way. Now, I'm letting you know that's Atlanta too, by the way, because as a city, we've always said mine and yours. You know what that means? My kids get what your kids get. That means that the city council person kids gonna get what Antonio Lewis, the man with no mama, no daddy, gonna get. And that's how you become a city council person. That's how you become young Emmett Till. You get what I'm saying? That's how you are able to keep going. And what I heard you say is you can't wait to help somebody else. Yeah. That's the real Atlanta way, right? Right? Be the real example. Give it back. Give it away. Yeah. It ain't gonna hurt you. I'm telling you. Keep building. So, of course, I want to say something. Ain't no way in the world we're going to have this young king in our building and keep putting on for our city. Keep putting on for our city. Dominate, baby, dominate. Let's go. Let's get it. Dominate, dominate. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So we'll to keep our program moving, let's hold still for a moment. We will take our official photo. And we'll all lean in. Now, Jaylen, when you get to the Academy Awards, you don't have to give us tickets, but we want the gift bag.
That's right.
No, you squeeze in. Make sure you can see the camera, because if you can't, you're not in the picture. All right, congratulations again, gentlemen. All right. And we'll exit out to the left.
Oh, she's still on the screen.
Yeah.
Speak first.
Who we got? Next, I'd like to ask Councilmember Jason Winston to come forward, and all of those who are here for Water Safety Month's proclamation to please join us. Give the mic.
right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jason Winston, council member for Atlanta's District 1. I am also our Community Development Human Services Committee Chair, and I am honored today to recognize Water Safety Month 2025. It's important that we recognize how important it is to teach our youth how to swim. And so today we recognize this being a very important month that we are going to recognize 2025 as this month as Water Safety Month. So I'm going to read the proclamation. In recognition of Water Safety Month 2025, whereas drowning is the second leading cause of accidental death in children ages 5 to 14 in the United States, and whereas all reviewed drowning deaths for children in the state of Georgia were reported as preventable in the most recent Georgia Child Fatality Review Panel annual report, and whereas collaboration among government agencies, nonprofit organizations, schools, and community stakeholders is essential to effectively address water safety challenges and promote a culture of safe swimming and recreation. And whereas the Water Safety Coalition, made up of partners including the City of Atlanta's Department of Parks and Recreation, the YMCA of Metro Atlanta, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, the American Red Cross, the Greater Atlanta Way Safety Alliance, WABE, 11 Alive, and Swim Kids have come together to build a culture of water safety and combat drowning, especially childhood drowning, that disproportionately kills Black and brown children. And whereas learning to swim and understanding water safety practices are crucial life skills that can save lives and prevent tragedies. And whereas promoting proper supervision, barriers, and emergency preparedness can reduce the risk of drowning incidents, especially in children and inexperienced swimmers. And whereas National Water Safety Month, designated at the month of May, aims to raise awareness about the importance of water safety education and drowning prevention measures, and whereas the Atlanta Water Safety Coalition seeks to use the platform of National Water Safety Month to elevate opportunities for swim lessons, water safety education, lifeguard training and recruitment, and CPR certification provided by coalition partners. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the members of the Atlanta City Council, on behalf of the citizens of Atlanta, do hereby declare May as Water Safety Month in the city and urge all residents to become proficient in water safety and drowning safety measures. At this time, I'm going to welcome up Commissioner Justin Cutler from the Department of Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, Councilmember Winston. Well, yes, on behalf of Mayor Andre Dickens, the 61st Mayor of Atlanta, and the whole Department of Parks and Recreation, we are excited to be able to celebrate this month, National Water Safety Month. Atlanta Water Safety Coalition, who is represented here, and members that aren't here as well, includes members of the Atlanta Department of Parks and Recreation, YMCA Metro Atlanta, the YMCA of Metro Atlanta, who you'll hear from later, Children's Hospital of Atlanta, the American Red Cross, and the Greater Atlanta Water Safety Alliance and Swim School, as well as Sears Pool Management. So together, we are working really hard to combat childhood drowning and the consequences of drowning. The last couple of years, we've participated in the world's largest swim lessons to bring awareness to how people can learn how to swim. We also provide swim lessons at all of our indoor pools. And this summer, our outdoor pools open Memorial Day weekend. We will have 4 pools, Grant, Maddox, Mosley, and John A. White Park pool for you to swim at Memorial Day weekend. And then the other 8 pools will open every weekend after that. And they are open 5 days a week, all 12 pools. So we are super excited to be able to participate in this event. We're committed to combating drowning both among adults as well as youth, because adults still need to learn how to swim. So if you or somebody you know doesn't know how to swim, please encourage them to come out and learn how to swim with us. And as we also know through Activate ATL, swimming and swim lessons were one of the biggest challenges that we had and needing to provide more. So we're working to increase lifeguard training in partnership with Atlanta Public Schools, as well as the YMCA and Children's Hospital and many more here, in order to create a job opportunity for a young person. So thank you for being here today to celebrate with us, and I'll turn it over to Lawrence Koontz, CEO of Metro Atlanta YMCA.
Thank you. Thank you, Justin. It was just a couple of years ago that Commissioner Cutler and I were sitting at Thumbs Up on Marietta and trying to determine how we could work more closely together to be able to ensure that children were not drowning. And this was a great idea that he came up with, and it was to launch the Atlanta Water Safety Coalition and bring partners together to ensure that all children have the opportunity to learn to swim. Drowning is the #1 cause of death for children 4 and under, and it's the #2 cause of death for children 5 to 14. Last year, we had unfortunately more drownings in the state of Georgia than we had in the 2 decades prior. So this is something that we all need to commit to and be committed to. In 1909, the YMCA movement in this country launched their first group swim classes, and a century later, we remain committed to making sure that every child in the city of Atlanta has the opportunity to learn to swim from one of the providers that's standing up here in partnership together. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you, and I just want to thank you all for being here today as we, just celebrate this month being the Water Safety Month here in Atlanta. And so, thank you all for being here. Also, want to let Commissioner Cutler plug that we are hiring lifeguards in the city of Atlanta. You do not have to be certified. We will do the training for you. Correct? Paying how much an hour?
$15.50.
$15.50 an hour. So if you know any kids' ages starting at the age of 15?
15 and up, yeah.
15 and up. All right. So let them know that the Department of Parks and Recs is hiring. They do not know how to swim. They don't have to know how to swim or have their certification, and they can still get those jobs, and we'll teach them how to do all of that. So thank you all. We'll take a picture.
Actually, I can picture of you and you. Yeah, that's perfect. And 3, 2, 1. Hold still.
3, 2, 1 more.
Next, I'd like to ask Council Members Collins and Hillis to come forward, and all of those who are here to honor the Best Academy Boys Basketball Team Class AD1 champions to come forward and join us.
Come on down. You're the next contestant. I always wanted to do that. Yes. So we are honored today to present to the Best Academies Boys Basketball Team, recognizing that they are this year's 2024-2025 Georgia High School Association Class A D1 state champions. Let's give them a round of applause. I am Councilman Ishay Collins, representing Post 3 at large, and I'm joined by my amazing colleague,
Dustin Hillis from District 9.
And we will make this quick and read the proclamation, but I also want to acknowledge our amazing superintendent for Atlanta Public Schools, Dr. J, that is joining us. President of 100 Black Men of Atlanta, President Sid Barron. Coach Moore, the amazing athletic director. Principal Williams, he's always behind the scenes, but wave your hands to the crowd. Coach, I see Coach Lattimore and Coach Whedon, that is with us, the actual head coach. So we'll make this quick. Whereas the Best Academy Varsity Boys Basketball Team made history on March 8th, 2025 by securing the school's first ever Georgia High School Association state championship with a triumphant victory over Southwest Macon High School at the Centerplex in Macon, Georgia. And this remarkable achievement marks a historic milestone for Best Academy since its founding in 2007, showcasing the dedication, discipline, and determination of the students, athletes, coaches, and support staff who works tirelessly to reach this pinnacle of success. The team finished the season with an outstanding 25-7 record, demonstrating mental toughness, resilience, and perseverance through every challenge, embodying the true spirit of champions.
And whereas the players, Zion Evans, Jacob Mickle, Nicholas Dozier, Alexander Barrett, Mario Lemons, Joshua Mickle, Wendell Brown Jr., and Curtis Martin, along with managers Zamaya Wallace and Taylor Roche, athletic trainer Lance Hibbert Parrish, and coaches Brian Wheaton, Mario Lemons, Damian Goodwin, Jessica Johnson, and Jordan Lemons, displaying unwavering teamwork, leadership, and excellence both on and off the court. Whereas this championship serves as an inspiration to the Atlanta community, proving that with hard work, focus, and unity, greatness is achievable, setting a new standard for future generations of best Academy athletes. Now, therefore, we, Council Members Dustin Hillis and Ishay Collins, on behalf of the City of Atlanta, do hereby proclaim and honor the best Academy boys basketball team for their extraordinary accomplishment in winning the 2025 GHSA Class A D1 State Championship. Further, I commend the players, coaches, and staff for their commitment to excellence and for bringing pride to Atlanta's youth and the entire community. Their legacy will forever be remembered as the first to raise the championship banner, a testament to their grit, passion, and brotherhood, and it is signed by all members of council and the council president.
Yes, thank you.
Young men.
Coach, would you like to say a few words? Principal Williams, would you like to say a few words? Dr. Johnson, I call him Dr. J, you guys, because he's supposed to take Atlanta Public Schools to champions themselves. President Barron, would you like to say a few words? Just.
Good afternoon. I'm the proud principal of Best Academy, and throughout this journey of this season, it was complete change for us. We were able to, under the direction, the leadership of our Coach Wheaton and Coach Lemons, we were able to really stay focused, to be able to see that tunnel and really work hard beyond the court. We also saw that through our leadership, we were able to really see our students work off the court, and it was extremely rewarding season for us. And we brought it home back for the city of Atlanta Public Schools. And so we're super excited. We're proud of you. We know that you have endless possibilities ahead of you. And of course, I want to thank our superintendent, the 100 Black Men of Atlanta, and all of our supporters and our families, because we couldn't have done it without them. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll be really brief. I'll come to the middle here. Yeah, absolutely. So we're proud of you guys. Had a chance to spend time with them a couple of times now during this well-deserved celebration. Take it all in and enjoy it. And as you get older, you'll be able to look back, and every year it'll get better. Every year you'll be able to say, I was so much better than I was the year before. So we're proud of you as a school district. You are setting an example for our other students across the district. There are 50,000 students. And there's one basketball state champion, and you're it. And some of you are tremendous. Yeah, absolutely. Give them a hand. Yeah. And we talk about the student athlete side of the work. So, Coach, we thank you all, entire staff and athletic directors, for what you all have done to make sure that these young men aren't just achieving here, but are getting ready to go, many of them, to the next level. And that's really what it's about. So we're so excited, so proud of you. Keep up the good work.
So very quickly, just young men, remember that you're champions, not just today, but forever. And we recognize what you've done. Take this with you. No matter what happens with anything, you know we're here to support you. So we're proud of you. We know you'll do more, and we'll see you here again. Thank you.
Coach, you want to say something? Stay with it. Okay. Come on. It's your moment.
I just want to say thank y'all for letting us be here and honoring us today for the hard work that we put in, the coaches, the staff and everything. They helped us do what we did. Yeah, I'm just grateful for it. So thank y'all.
And I promised to give her regards. She was going to try to make it, but APS Board Chair Erica Mitchell and who represents District 9 and District 10 on the Atlanta School Board, District 5 on the school board, Erica Mitchell wants to send her regards to. She's in a meeting across the street and wanted to try to make it, but regards from her. And congratulations.
So we'll get ready for official photo.
Thank you. Finally, today, I'd like to ask Councilor Winston to come back and those who are here in recognition of Angeli Hinman and Margaret Streikhauser to come forward and join us up on the podium.
All right, everyone. It's our last proclamation of the day, but this one is very special for me as I get to honor a good friend and my neighbor who lives across the street from me. But for a long time, I had actually no idea what Margaret did for a living. I had a family member who actually flew into Atlanta and said that she was going to a birthing center conference to come see this world-renowned midwife in Atlanta. And I asked her, I was like, so who are you going to see? And she said, Margaret Streikhauser. And I said, Margaret? Across the street? I had no idea it was Margaret. But I'm excited today to be here to present a proclamation to Margaret, my good friend, and also Angeli Hinman, co-founders of the Atlanta Birth Center today. Just thankful for everything that they've done in terms of because of mental health and maternity health here in the city of Atlanta. It's something that is very needed and something that has been so special. You giving birth or help give birth to over 5,000 kids in the city, and so that is something that, just say that again, 5,000, y'all, 5,000. And so just honored to be here today. So I'm going to read the proclamations first. In recognition of Angeli Hinman, whereas the Atlanta City Council proudly recognizes Angeli, co-founder of Atlanta Birth Center, for her steadfast commitment to maternal and child health and her leadership in expanding equitable, compassionate care for families across Atlanta. And whereas Angeli earned dual degrees in biology and women's studies from the University of Michigan and a Master of Public Health from Boston University, focusing on maternal and child health and community-based health care. And whereas she went on to earn her nurse midwifery, did I say that right? Okay, and family nurse practitioner degree from Emory University, where she was a Woodruff Fellow. She has remained active in advocacy, education, and public health ever since. And whereas Angeli has served communities locally and globally, from midwifery and water birth care in Metro Atlanta hospitals to medical missions abroad, and has been an active advocate for healthcare equity at this Georgia Capitol and beyond. And whereas Angeli's leadership extends beyond clinical care, she has served on the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation's initiative on the future of nursing at the Institute of Medicine, co-authored its landmark report, and continues to inspire others as a proud mother of 3 children. Now therefore be proclaimed that we, the members of the Atlanta City Council, on behalf of the citizens of Atlanta, do hereby recognize Angeli Hinman on the 5th day of May 2025 for her visionary leadership and lifelong service to maternal and family health in Atlanta and beyond. So I'm going to present you with yours first. And now one more. In recognition of Margaret Streikhauser, whereas the Atlanta City Council proudly recognizes Margaret Streikhauser, co-founder of the Atlanta Birth Center, who has dedicated more than 40 years to advocating for the health and well-being of patients, and as a nurse midwife, and whereas born in Charlotte, North Carolina, Margaret's passion for helping others began in high school as a candy striper. She later pursued a career in nursing, earning her bachelor's degree in 1967 from St. Andrew's Presbyterian College and Presbyterian Hospital School of Nursing. And whereas Margaret earned a master's degree in maternal and child health from Emory University and worked at Grady Memorial Hospital and Holy Family Hospital, where she sensed her calling to deliver babies, leading her to become a certified midwife. And whereas she joined Atlanta's first midwifery practice in 1978 and became one of the first to offer water birth in Metro Atlanta in 1999, helping countless families in the community. And whereas Margaret has delivered more than 5,000 healthy babies, changing lives and making a lasting impact on families in Atlanta. And whereas outside of her professional work, Margaret enjoys wellness practices, gardening, and volunteering with organizations that train service dogs for individuals with disabilities. And now therefore be it proclaimed that we, the members of the Atlanta City Council, on behalf of the citizens of Atlanta, do hereby recognize Margaret Strickhauser on the 5th day of May, 2025, for her unwavering service, dedication, and impact on maternal and child health in Atlanta. So congratulations to you both. We thank you so much. We know that you all had to deal with so much given the closing of the Atlanta Medical Center. Now you have a new location, correct? And so just excited that you were able to continue doing that work. Maternal health is so important. As the father of 2 young girls, I understand what it means when you have, a plan or someone to actually take care of it that listens. And I think that's part of what it's all about. So many people go into, actually going into having a baby and they have a plan. And a lot of people don't listen to them. And it takes people that care and are compassionate about that process. And so I just want to say thank you to you both so much for caring. Thank you to all those who help make this happen on a regular basis. And so I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Councilmember Collier Overstreet.
Thank you, Councilmember Winston. I just wanted to make sure that I said congratulations to you two and the entire Atlanta Birth Center. As you all know, my husband was your first medical director starting in 2016. And so you all have really changed the landscape in the city of Atlanta on the way we actually cradle and take care of our women. And that is no easy feat. I'm very proud of the work that you all have done. He was a proud member to be on your team. And Atlanta Medical Center closing really did change a lot of things, but what it cannot change is the way you all are still delivering here in the city of Atlanta for all kinds of options for women as they go through childbirth and after, because I know for sure that Melanie actually does therapy in postpartum, correct? And that's huge. So the fact that you all take care of the women the way that you do, whatever I can do to help you, the Overstreet family will always be connected to you. Anjali, you in particular, I know your voice. I've heard it through the years on speakerphone. And so it's really a pleasure to have you here in City Hall. I wish you were in our beautiful setting of our council chamber, but this will have to do for this time. And I'm just happy to be here to celebrate with you all. And I want my own photo because this is for Dr. Alfonso Overstreet Jr. Hold on.
Yes.
You too.
Okay. All right.
We all here go ahead.
Well, I'm going to turn over to Councilmember Bond.
Well, I just want to say quickly that you all are doing God's work. We all know that infant mortality is the highest in the South, the highest in Georgia. What you all continue to do is more than just a labor of love. It is a ministry to the people, to the women, to the families that you help and you aid. And so this is not enough, but this is what we can do to honor you, to kind of highlight that. And of course, we love and respect you, and we appreciate everything you do. And there are probably dozens of little squunchies that probably never can say thank you, or have the mind to say thank you, but in their stead, we want to say thank you.
It's amazing because
Then I'm going to turn it over to Margaret Strickhauser.
so on my journey to become a midwife, I worked as a nurse at Holy Family Hospital, and I was helped Andrew Young and his wife Jean welcome Bo, their son. Yeah, so that was where I got my calling to go be a midwife, was by working at Holy Family, and it was a special place.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Anjali,
Well, and my 3 kids were one of the thousands of babies that Margaret helped bring into the world. And, you know, when Margaret, she's been working as a midwife for decades, you know, and I can only hope to aspire to be like she is at my retirement one day. Mom, thank you so much, by the way. Happy birthday. But I think it's really amazing that there's even the opportunity to acknowledge midwives, you know, here in Atlanta, here across our state of Georgia, around the country, around the world. Today's International Day of the Midwife. And ever since there were people being born, right? There were midwives helping them be born. And so we do consider it our ministry to really, you know, show up every day, no matter how hard the work is, because we know that people deserve to be born into love, you know, to have equity, to have access, and to have the potential that all the other people that stood up before us have, that everybody deserves that. So thank you to everybody who's standing up here with us, and let's keep going. Let's keep pushing, as Margaret always said.
Tamara, did you have anything?
Oh, hi. Yes, today's International Day of the Midwife, and so it's an appropriate day to express gratitude to the founders of the Birth Center. Atlanta Birth Center cares for over 500 families in Atlanta every year. We are one of only 3 birth centers in the whole state of Georgia, and the only one in the city of Atlanta. And so just gratitude to the City Council for honoring us today, and hopeful that we will continue to be supported in our important work. Thank you so much. Councilperson Winston and all the other members of the City Council for honoring us today.
Thank you. So again, just want to thank you all. Stephanie, this wouldn't have happened without us having a conversation about honoring Anjali and Margaret. And so Melanie, good friend, her and her husband Brian. And Brian's grandfather was John Calhoun, who was the first council person in District 1. So also just want to thank them and her family for all they do for the city of Atlanta. So just thank you all again. Margaret, it's just so special to be able to honor you. Just a quick story. My wife and I our first pregnancy ended early. And so Margaret was literally the first person we saw when we got home, devastated. And she has nothing but encouraging words to say to me and wife. And a number of words, she said, "Get back in the game." And and we now have 2 beautiful daughters that she gets to see on a regular basis. And so thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Anjali. Thank you, all of you, for what you do. And so again, we just appreciate you being here.
Thank you all. Next, we'll move to remarks from the public. Just as a reminder, you'll be given 2 minutes to speak. Unless you've been yielded time, you can't yield time at the microphone. It has to be on the list. First up, we'll have Henry Jordan today. You'll have 2 minutes.
Be good and not evil. Give not to the Spirit of God, everyone that's here. He that worketh deceit shall not dwell within my house. He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight. Psalms 101, chapter 7, verse. The ideal king sings for the Lord. Keep his personal life pure and ministers social justice. The Lord warned me not be proud about what he says. Jesus says, give him glory for what he has done through me. You told Jesus that he didn't do the work through me. And Christ's assignment is to work with the homeless calling on Jesus. Receive us, we have wronged no man. We have corrupted no man. We defrauded no man. 2 Corinthians 7, chapter 2nd verse. I cannot work your job because of your practices on your job. Work that goes against his word. The gifts given to help people to live holy and the protection of his people. Trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. Psalm 62, chapter 10th verse. At least 5 nouns describe God's protection: rock, salvation, glory, and refuge. When you practice oppression, you are asking for the enemy to oppress you. James Swift, oppression produce oppression. The thief cometh not but for to steal, to kill, and destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they may have it more abundantly. St. John 10:10. Good shepherd. When Jesus uses this terminology, thoughtful Jews remember Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, and even understand Jesus' claim to be God. I seek to warn you to take heed to God's warning of deeds that will lead to death, hell, and destruction. When you seek to kill, you ask to be killed. We need Christ's help. Our flesh can't do it by itself.
Next will be Jennifer Brooks. You'll have up to 2 minutes.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for your ongoing commitment to this city and its people. I can only imagine the demands that are made of you every single day, including from me. Thank you for hearing me and for your patience with me. I want to just mention a little about a troublesome culture of community engagement. It's a culture of absent or selective stakeholder engagement that relies largely on special interest groups and consultants that often neglect the specific stakeholders who are most directly impacted. I'll just point out in February the legislation that passed that even had written into it the requirement not to engage NPUs that surrounding what was then Westside Park. It's not really surprising because the precedent has been set for absent or flawed engagement. Look at Baker Street, Atlanta Streets Alive, Shared Peachtree, and now the Stitch. So if you look at the 927-page master plan, there are renderings of what those improvements are going to be that include 8 miles of streetscape, including Peachtree Street. And who along that corridor actually knows about this? It's deep in that report. Common to many projects, we see tactical urbanism consultants and special interest groups taking the lead. They collect the data, they analyze it and report it. And it tends often to mislead the public, the city staffers, and yourselves. As you know, I trust you all with custodianship of the public right-of-way in my own neighborhood, which is the Central Business and Hospitality District. And for me, it's really important that all of these public right-of-ways be shared appropriately and carefully in respect of all the users. Thank you.
Next will be Stephen Muhammad. You'll have up to 2 minutes.
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Council, for allowing me to be here. Right now, we have an issue that we are dealing with, the Vine City Civic Association. I'm here today representing Archbishop John H. Lewis, who is the President and CEO of the Vine City Civic Association. What we're here today to speak of is that the power substation that Georgia Power is proposing to put into the Vine City area. We know that they did something similar in the Howell Mill Station, and Georgia Power does not seem to respect the stakeholders. They have a history of disrespecting the stakeholders, and we don't want to make it a racial issue, but it seems like environmental racism to us. But I want to say that we're here in this room today, the old council chambers. There are 32 windows in this building. It takes 33 degrees to be above freezing and not be frozen out. In this council chambers, a lot of decisions were made to freeze out the black community in the 50s and 60s, putting up big roadblocks on Peyton and other things. So we're hoping today that our councilman for District 3, Byron Am, who's been quietly fighting to mitigate this situation, that he can get some support to stop Georgia Power from doing what they're doing. We know it seems like everything with the name Georgia seems to go against the city of Atlanta. I think the Georgia State Patrol runs through the city and have wrecks and kill people. I think the Georgia Power is polluting the neighborhood and trying to kill people. So we need help. We need your support. Tomorrow night we have a town hall meeting at 7 o'clock at the old historic West Hunter Street Baptist Church for the people to discuss what it is that they would like to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next will be George Weidman. You'll have up to 2 minutes.
Hello, hello. My name is George Weidman, lifetime resident of Atlanta, longtime resident of the Landmark condominiums for about 15 years now. I specifically wanted to say hi to Michael Julian Bond and ask if he might actually recognize me from a few trips I made to the HelloFresh food giveaways last year. Because I'm going to be back. I'm going to see you again Wednesday at the church for the HelloFresh because I cannot pay these monthly HOA bills and go grocery shopping at the same time. And I want you to remember that when handing out those HelloFresh boxes for all the various reasons that a actively working white-collar office job, sober educated professional might end up experiencing food insecurity and rely on food charity is having to pay the bills associated with home ownership for this home particularly, for this month particularly. Us homeowners are being expected to pay this month for something we never voted on and may have actually voted against a month earlier, a very, very large bill in addition to some recently spiked up very large monthly bills. The massive 4-digit total number these bills are adding up to is the kind of number you'd never see associated with the normal personal expenses of someone's normal, ordinary home. It's the kind of number you'd usually see associated with operating a business. Now, the STR short-term rental issue is all about commercial businesses exploiting residential zones for profit, and they are. Consider that on all the paperwork on the deed I signed up for to buy my home, it did not say that I was actually signing up to buy a hotel business and effectively share in a hotel's costs, liabilities, and losses. And honestly, big absorbent bills are still not the worst problem we're dealing with. Thank you.
Thank you. Next will be Andrew Gervey. Due to yield of time, you'll have up to 4 minutes.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. My name is Andrew Gervey. I've been in Atlanta for over 50 years. My children have been born here, gone to school here. I'm a business owner, a property owner, and also a taxpayer. But primarily, I'm here today to speak before you on behalf of my role as legal counsel and director of real estate for Habitat for Humanity in Atlanta. We are the region's largest affordable home builder. We're also the entity that the city of Atlanta has acquired over the last few years over 60 acres of forested land. And the reason I'm speaking to you is because of the upcoming tree ordinance that was released last week. I'd like to share a few words from our CEO and president, Rosalind Merrick, who sent a letter to the mayor and the members of the city council. Atlanta Habitat supports many of the proposed provisions in the draft ordinance and appreciates your willingness to engage with stakeholders throughout the process. We write today to clarify and reinforce our position on specific elements and to elevate a significant concern related to the conservation area requirements for new developments. We are challenged by conservation areas as defined in the revised ordinance, mandating them uniformly across all development types, including affordable home ownership projects, would be devastating to Atlanta Habitat's mission. In many cases, such a requirement could make future habitat developments unviable and infeasible. We regretfully urge the city to evaluate this provision throughout the lens of housing equity, feasibility, and workforce affordability. If applied today, the proposed tree ordinance would dramatically reduce the scale and viability of our flagship development, Browns Mill Village. This thoughtfully planned community, originally designed for 138 homes, would be reduced to just 81 homes under the proposed requirements. The financial impact would be equally severe, driving the cost per lot to $79,000, well beyond our capability to serve families earning between 30 and 80% AMI. That's average median income. We again address some of the lowest homeowners in that band. Just down the road, Springside Place, another development, would be reduced to 40%. And we deeply value Atlanta's identity as the city in the trees, but we must also ask who will be able to live beneath them. As it stands, proposed ordinance threatens to preserve trees at the expense of people. Without greater flexibility, affordable homeownership in Atlanta could be incredibly out of reach, jeopardizing Atlanta Habitat's ability to continue building in the city. We are grateful for the opportunity to participate in important dialogue in this area, but remain hopeful that a balanced ordinance can be achieved, one that protects Atlanta's natural heritage while supporting its residents' right to obtain affordable housing. Thank you.
Next will be Valerie Anderson. Due to yielded time, you'll have up to 8 minutes.
Good afternoon. My first question is to Mr. Bond. Hi, how are you? I just wanted to know how it was going as far as us meeting the DA and the letter, stuff like that. Just checking in on that. How is that going?
Have to reach out to the district attorney's office to get on her calendar.
Okay.
And so we're waiting to hear a response from her office.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Sunday, which would be Mother's Day, May 11th, would be my son's birthday. My son would have turned 39 this Sunday, which is Mother's Day. And that's not going to happen. What is not going to happen is my son giving me a hug. Me hugging my son. My son wishing me a happy Mother's Day and telling me he loves me. And me kissing my son and telling him I love him. None of that is going to happen because my son is gone. 5/11/86, I gave birth to my son, Devon Anderson Jr. And now 5/11/2025. I'm keeping a celebration of life for my son that murdering Melvin Potter took from me, shot and killed my son August 5th, 2024. I miss my son, and I love my son. And this is not justice, that my son is not here because he was killed by murdering Melvin Potter, a lawless drunk. Where is the justice? And a police officer who was on probation when he murdered my son. I am going to stress this every time that Melvin Potter was on probation when he murdered my son. And I want to address something else also. That I've met a lot of people who seems to be more interested in their job title that has power, title. I don't care about your title, position, or power. I'm not interested in that at all. You know why? Because you all could retire, you all could resign, you all could get forced out. But my power, my title, and my position is mother. Mother, which I am very proud of. And especially because I have the love and respect from my kids. I have that. So I can't resign or retire from being my kid's mother. And I don't, Melvin Potter took my son from me. He's always going to be my son. Even when I'm dead and gone, he's always going to be my son. And I'm always going to be his mother. No matter what, I'm always going to be his mother. And I'm not going to stop fighting for my son. Like I've always said, I am going to show up and be present. And I'm going to get justice for my son, no matter how long it takes. APD is doing a lousy job at policing their own. They're doing a lousy job. And to me, Dickens, the last time we spoke was January 6th. You was gracious enough to talk to me when I walked up on you. You said to me you was going to call me, and you did. You did. But you also said, since you have my phone number, you would stay in touch with me. So it's about time for a call from you. Because my son should be here. I shouldn't be having a celebration of life for my son. My son would make 39. My son didn't have a chance to have kids. My son didn't have a chance to get married. And these is the thing that he wanted to do. So I was robbed of all that. I sit here and I saw all those young men, you know, doing good. What happened if one of those young men, the basketball team, the young actor, encounter a drunk police officer, not knowing what he's doing, and kill one of those kids, get arrested, and post a $1,000 bond and go home because he refused to take a blood test? What would happen to one of those young men? The mother would feel the same way I would feel. The mayor said the new recruits going to be going into a state-of-the-art facility in Cop City. What's going to happen? They're going to take the old drunks and put them over there to learn new tricks. That's what they're going to do. Because it's a crisis right now with these drunken officers. And they still have a job. Melvin Potter should not have a job. Why? Because he was on probation when he murdered my son. And I'm going to say that until every being in me. Melvin Potter's supposed to be in jail. He murdered my son August 5th, 2024, and his probation wasn't up until November 17th of 2024. So again, APD have to do better. They have to do better. And like I've always said, and I'm going to say until I'm tired on the ground rolling over, I am not going anywhere until I get justice for Devon S. Anderson Jr. This is my baby. This is my Mother's Day baby. That is gone. My son is gone.
Next will be James Cheeks. You'll have up to 2 minutes.
My name is James Cheeks. I'm a home builder in the city of Atlanta. I've been building for quite some time, and I'm here to speak just very briefly on the current draft of the tree protection ordinance. I know it's not coming up today, but it just remains to be an issue that needs to be discussed. So the staff has done a very difficult job, worked on a very difficult project, but the affordable housing waivers, the terms keep changing, don't work for the type of projects that we build. We build a lot of single-family, affordable, non-subsidized housing. And the way the court ordinance is currently drafted, we wouldn't get any of the waivers for it, number one. Number two, I have been involved in this particular issue personally for about 7 years, and I know others have been in it longer. We got this second draft last week, and to have this ordinance be voted on in the short term would be dangerous and very bad public policy. This is an incredibly difficult issue, and we need more time to go over this particular ordinance. And finally, while I build housing less than 100% AMI more often than not, the current ordinance says that 120% AMI three-bedroom house is a 20%. I'm sorry, a 120% AMI three-bedroom house is $402,000. Again, not the kind of projects that I build. This ordinance would require you to pay 800% increase, even for a $400,000 house.
Next up is Kevin Norton. You'll have up to 2 minutes.
Before I begin, Council President, is there somebody behind me that could yield their time? Okay. All right. Good afternoon, council members. My name is Kevin Norton. I'm here today to also discuss the tree protection ordinance. I'm Senior Vice President of Land Development at Empire Communities, one of the largest for-sale townhome builders in the city of Atlanta. I'm also a licensed civil engineer and serve on the board of the Council for Quality Growth, representing over 300 companies and 2,000 industry professionals active in the city of Atlanta. I've spent 30 years of my career working through codes, permits, and site design, 18 years as a consulting engineer, and the last 13 as a residential developer. I participated in the CPO, or the city's TPO working group over the last year, and just last week, the ordinance grew from 64 pages to 89 pages. It is overly complex, difficult to interpret, and nearly impossible to implement at this scale. This is the current city's ordinance, 39 pages. This is what's being proposed right now, 89 pages, 50 pages more of code in that ordinance. This is not balanced policy. It is a sweeping rewrite with major unintended consequences affecting residential, apartments, restaurants, retail stores, offices, industrial, everything. It covers all asset classes now. The tree canopy has declined 1.8% since 2008, according to the studies that have been completed. The current tree protection ordinance was recently referred to in an article as the Atlanta Clear Cutting Ordinance, but I would argue that the current tree protection ordinance works under the enforcement of the city arborist, keeping us at 1.8% canopy. Thank you for your time.
That's just a 30-second. Just as a reminder, the first bell is 30 seconds. The final bell is, I'll let you know when you're out of time.
All right, all good.
30 seconds.
Thank you, sir. So a complete overhaul is unnecessary. The data does not support the claim that the current ordinance is broken. As an engineer and developer, I recognize that development requires more than just clearing for a building footprint. The building footprint requires driveways, requires sidewalks, underground utilities, stormwater systems, equipment space for cranes, other utilities or other equipment to operate. And yes, lastly, we need an area to replant trees. There are above ground improvements that you see and many below ground that you don't see that affect development. The draft ordinance ignores those practical needs. Preservation zones on all sites would restrict us beyond what zoning already allows.
Time's expired.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next will be Saba Longman. You'll have up to 4 minutes due to yielded time.
Hello, my name is Saba Logman. I was born in Atlanta, went to school on Roswell Road, went to Georgia Tech, live in Cabbagetown, and now have my own business here in Atlanta. For the past decade, I've focused on building more homes for people like myself, young professionals, couples, and people trying to put their roots in Atlanta. From East Atlanta to Buckhead, I've delivered for-sale housing and home ownership that's walkable, thoughtful, and attainable, particularly for those who are priced out of single-family homes. The proposed tree ordinance is fundamentally flawed. It's restrictive, punishing, and economically unworkable. For the first time in 50 years, Atlanta's population is growing, and yet this ordinance would actively discourage new housing and growth during a housing shortage. We are not against trees. Again, we are not against trees, but the current ordinance does not offer any meaningful incentive to replant or grow the canopy. It only penalizes growth. Let me be specific. I've run case studies on multiple projects across the city. It would make 2 to 4 story projects economically impossible. An example in Councilmember Lewis's district that we have would lose 45 homes of 118 homes. This ordinance pits housing against trees. It penalizes the development without offering any meaningful incentive to replant or grow the canopy. It drives up land costs. It kills density and halts the type of projects that Atlanta wants to make a livable and walkable place. This includes grocery stores, retails, banks, and offices. I'm sounding the alarm today. If this is written and passed, this ordinance will shut down housing creation across the city of Atlanta. We need a smarter approach, one that aligns the canopy goals with housing and growth goals. Thank you.
Next will be Michael Paris. You'll have up to 2 minutes.
Mr. President, council members, I'm Michael Paris. I'm president and CEO of the Council for Quality Growth. We represent over 300 companies in the building development industry here in the region and, of course, in the city of Atlanta. We have been working it, as Jim said, his involvement, we've been working on this a lot of years. We've all put a lot of time into it. We've had a great opportunity to work with partners and stakeholders, and every time we think we're closer, I know you must feel the same way, it feels like we're going the opposite direction. There is a way, there is a path forward, but we still have major concerns, and adding the commercial requirements that appeared in this last draft really changes the scope of everything we've been working on. I understand the necessity for some of that, but it's really changed the game, and we really need, again, more time to figure this out, because this has a long-lasting impact. We're going to make a decision, you may make a decision here, that will affect how this city develops, how the city builds. for 50 years, for 75 years. And it's really important we stop and consider what we're doing here. Just a quick couple of things from some of our members. Based on case studies, we have run the draft ordinance has a potential to increase per lot cost by $20,000 to $50,000, reduce density by up to 40%, especially on 2 to 4 story infill sites, which we need desperately in this city, eliminate the feasibility of missing middle housing, and push development out of the city. All they have to do is go across the line, and they're out of the city. Push development out of the city, contradicting Atlanta's housing and climate goals. I could say a lot more about it. I implore you to continue to study this. And one thing to focus on is the Tree Trust Fund, which holds about $10 million. Where are we putting that money, and how are we spending that money? Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next will be Greg Levine. You'll have up to 2 minutes.
Good afternoon, Council. Greg Levine, Executive Director of Trees Atlanta. So the last 2 years, the data that was shown before it stopped with the City of Atlanta showed that we were losing tree canopy twice as fast as the previous 2 years before that. So we're definitely losing canopy quickly. The 89-page ordinance included, what we heard before, included all the deletions and add-ons, so it's not an 89-page or whatever page ordinance that was said before. I guess what happens every time, and I've worked on the tree ordinances now for 25, 30 years, this happens every single time. We ask the development community for suggestions on preserving canopy and having development, and they wait till it gets close to being passed. And yet, I know Howard's seen this many times. They say, oh, we can't do this for a million different reasons. But where were they when we were asking for the advice on how to preserve our canopy? Because we are losing it, and Atlanta is going to suffer from it, and the people that live here will suffer from it. Heat deaths are the #1 weather-related death in America, and the poor are the ones that die from extended heat. Without canopy, we have a hot city. Again, we need to stop kicking the can, fix any minor revisions that need to be made in this ordinance, and pass this ordinance this month, and get on with building the city and preserving our trees and making sure that we still have canopy for everyone that lives here, and not just have canopy for the wealthier parts of the city. Poor people need trees too. Everyone needs trees for all their environmental reasons. We can't just have canopy being preserved in neighborhoods that can afford it. So the last thing we heard from Habitat, that 30% matters for them as well, for people that live in houses where the only houses they can afford. Thank you.
Thank you. Next will be Nathaniel Dyer. You have up to 2 minutes.
Hello, I'm here to speak on the partnership with Invest Atlanta that you all are with. I feel like it's an assault on the community, the seniors. I'll just read you some of this. The initiative led by Invest Atlanta in partnership with the city targets rising property tax burdens that are displacing legacy residents in historically stable neighborhoods. Now, if the neighborhood is stable, the partnership seems like it's going to impact that stability. A new development throughout Atlanta has driven up property values and in turn property taxes. According to Invest Atlanta, homeowners with a homestead exemption have seen an average property tax increase of 31% over the past 5 years. So the question is, where have they been? Where have you all been to allow it to get to that point on legacy residents and seniors? And see, there they are talking again, the most disrespectful Boone and Overstreet. You know, can you swap chitlin recipes later and pay attention? Back to what I was saying. And you see, that's why you all jump into partnerships, and the result is poor. here, to qualify, the applicant must be 60 years old. Now, of course, they're saying that they'll kick it back to when maybe last year. But it's been 5 years since these people have been hit, well, I say us, the residents, have been hit with rising property taxes. In 20 years, that's how long it's supposed to last. Here's my suggestion. You have it open from May the 1st to the 31st. You need to expand that. Need better outreach, roll it back 5 years. And then the question is, okay, if they're paying $50,000, I'd say, because there's 10 million, will the government own the home or will it go back to the family? And finally, do a better job. You put all this money into a stitch, but the person says that these people are the fabric of the community. Let's do a better job for our seniors. Thank you.
Thank you. Next will be Monica Ivory.
I have been here earlier. This is for the have-nots that have not seen it. This is the water. This is a bottle that have not been opened. This is the water that's coming out of my unit now. So I guess you know I use bottled water for everything. I've heard of them flipping houses for money and everything, but I've never heard of them flipping units until today's day, as the young people would say. I was a day's day year old. And literally, I just heard this morning because I was here at the 11 o'clock meeting. I wanted to start my own time. I was here at the 11 o'clock meeting. And I just found out that they're flipping units now, and they'll continue to let them be filtered. They'll come in here and y'all find them, but when you find them, when it's time to do some work, they've already flipped it and sold it to somebody else. And here we go in the same situation. And I just moved there. I'm a senior from a high-rise. Thought I was being sucked in. I've never had any sickness or any illness. This is what I'm on now, okay? I am breathing this stuff, and literally you might as well have a doctor's excuse saying I should be out of this. Mind you, this is my second one. And like I say, this is for the have-nots. I don't know where this is going to go from where I've just talked with my Councilman Amos. I'm not putting him under the bus because from my understanding, this is a small world. I just found out that he's just taken over somebody's position from some reason or another. That's none of my concern, but it's a small world. So when I made a call later, that's what I find out. So y'all are getting put under the bus for things that's already been messed up and did, and now you're at ground zero back again, and nothing's going to be did about it. So I just wanted to come in and say something about it. But Mr. Amos, he assured me that he'll be on the property and things, but I have to assure myself, like I just did and came in here and trying to rectify some of my issues. I can't speak for nobody else and how they're living, but I'm living under a commode. I'm living on top of a commode, on top of a toilet that I don't know what's in that's what's in the tub, and feces and everything. And nobody's doing anything about it, and that's my water.
Thank you. Councilor Amos. Hold on just a second. Let's get your mic on.
Did not know they was flipping the units. About 10 to 15 years ago, this apartment complex was allowed to sell individual units as condos. So just late last year, we had about 16 owners of those individual condos and housing court together, in which they was court mandated to do some things. Some of them sold, some of them did not. But yes, we will be back out there. This is an ongoing issue, and we're looking to resolve it. So thank you for coming down.
Next will be Nikki Buggs. You'll have up to 2 minutes.
All right, let's talk about fiduciary responsibility. Fiduciary responsibility is a legal and obligation for one party, the fiduciary, to act in the best interest of another party, the principal beneficiary, prioritizing the principal's interest over their own, even when it might benefit them personally. So welcome to the Landmark condominiums. We are upside down with homeowners versus the investors, and as this lady shared as well, they are actually flipping units faster than you can flip pancakes on the griddle. In reference to the remaining homeowners, the landmark condominiums were being terrorized with the permission in plain sight for fiduciary irresponsibility. This is something we've been fighting for a while, something I've been talking about for a while. It has been years. We had a homeowner, Judy Clemens, that died fighting this cause. This is unacceptable at this point. The key elements of fiduciary responsibility: trust and good faith, acting in principal's best interest, duty and loyalty, duty of care, and obedience in accordance to the law. Now, it really, I'm going to just say something here, it's a little funky to me, forgive the bad language, but it tells me that if I tell you I'm going to get in office or I'm going to get in a position, I'm looking out for your best interest. That's ultimately what I'm saying. And you bring me in. In this case, this is not the case. These people are continuously moving on with the business. They had a Councilwoman Liliana Bakhtiari went ahead and spoke with them on March 25th regarding some actions that they gave a stellar performance, that they were trying to do better in the building, security and what have you. They did not. So she was generous enough to go ahead and check them then, which was fantastic because it needed to happen, and the building is still unsecure. The new security system that they have, the doors are all busted. We have people that are walking up and down our hallway. We have doorbell cameras, so I have a plethora of people walking by my unit that I don't know who they are. Most of them are just coming up the stairwells and getting into the building. I'm sorry, I hear your bell. I'll be done in a second. So we're grateful to her for speaking up for us. Please do something, and not even enough to just get them out of the building. They need to get out of the building.
Time's expired.
They have got to go. That is it. Airbnb in the entire state needs to be on log. Thank you.
Councilmember Bakhtiari.
It's on. Okay, great. Nikki, thank you. I wanted to take a moment to say that it has come to my attention that thanks to you all in our pushing in that council meeting, that it seems unilaterally collective action is now happening on the STR platforms in the landmark with Airbnb. So with some of the short-term rentals. So I'm keeping on top of that.
Good.
And I would love it because HOAs were preempted by the state on HOAs, and what is happening there is how someone that doesn't live in the building but runs a business on the first floor is able to profit by staying the head of the HOA when they don't actually live there is crazy to me. So I would like to work with you all now for raising this up to our state representatives, who I have reached out to, but we need to reach out to them repeatedly, apparently. So I think if we band together to do that, we can start working at the state on the HOA issues that are here, because I don't know what is happening. And also, for the record, for them to continue trying to sue or raise the prices on you all for the fire that we know originated out of their office is ridiculous to me. And I will continue calling attention to that. And in addition, the fact that these owners that are now the head of the HOA that have been doing these constructions and taking over entire floors and pushing you all out is now suing, I believe, for the residents for defamation or for libel, which I find it surprising that now they are doing that, given that there is momentum against the actions they have taken against the residents. So to me, that is an admittance of guilt. So I'm going to leave it there. I am not done with the landmark. We are not done with the landmark. Housing is a human right, and the treatment of the residents currently at the landmark is unacceptable. So we will keep on it, and I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next will be Margie McLeod. We'll have up to 2 minutes.
I'm gonna miss you. Thank you very much. I know I'm back. I don't have my T-shirt on, and because people thinking that they need assistance for rent, and I'm still saying rent control. What I'm saying now, rent control matter, because your cost of living. That's why y'all got an increase in your salary, because you would not be able to afford housing in the city of Atlanta. So how about the employee get an increase in their salary? How about the police? Because cost of living, how are people going to afford housing in city of Atlanta? They're pricing us out. But Overstreet, in your community also, and you don't answer your phone, Overstreet. A lot of people call me and tell me that you're not returning your phone call because they asked you about having House Bill 581.
Your community wants you to have a town hall meeting. But I'm not going to go through that, but you're running for the president of city council. So communication means a lot. Y'all here, y'all sick, people is hurting out there. And I thought I would retire, but I didn't because people calling me. It's a need. The solution is you have to put a cap on the rent. Because we are not going to be able to stay in the community. Also, the seniors also. So you sit here and you talk, people looking at you over the street, and you and Boone, I never call you out, but I am. Give the people respect. That's all they're asking you. And just like today, y'all got in count the solution because you don't have enough I'm not low-income housing. So you want to send them out of the county? That's not going to solve anything. More people going to be coming here. The problem is
Time has expired.
Put a cap on the rent because you could do it. You do everything else. You did that Senate Bill 58, Home Bill 581.
Time has expired.
Have a blessed day, but we need rent control in Atlanta.
Thank you. Councilman Overstreet.
Thank you, President Shipman. Ms. McLeod, that's simply not true. We don't miss phone calls or emails in my office. That's not true.
Overstreet, I'm not going to argue with you because I
Your time is up, Ms. McLeod.
And they will say that.
Okay. Ms.
They
McLeod.
call me Overstreet.
Ms. McLeod, your time
that's not true. You said
time is
you
expired.
emailed.
Ms.
Her
McLeod.
name, I'll give you the name.
Ms. McLeod, your time has expired.
Yeah, we
Councilor
answer
Overstreet.
the phone. 404-330-6054. Yes, I do. So it's a team. It's a team. It is a team. I definitely am responsive to, yes, I am. I'm even responsive to you.
Next is Jody W. You have up to 2 minutes.
Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me to speak, and I'm back with concerns for the homeless. You all have women and children, working women and children in the shelters with nowhere to live, and then our mayor is giving this money to investors. What happened to caring about the people? You have over 500 women and children at the Mission off of Howell Mill Road. You're constantly saying that you're taking care of these people when you're not even calling them back or acknowledging that they need a place to live. So I'm still asking for a budget on what happened to the monies for the homeless people. I hear that you all are putting them out, the people that's on the streets, living under the bridges, sending them to jail. You didn't even get a bus or a van to help them move their tents. I was told that you were bulldozing their properties, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Anytime a mayor goes against the people, what is he thinking? The people put you in there. And when you put them all out of the city, there's no one that's going to vote for you, city council members. And I ask you guys to consider these homeless people and take some of that money and build something for them. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Next will be Minister Breeslove. You have up to 2 minutes.
Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. I had so much to tell you all today, but then it touched my heart about Valerie. People, we got to get better. You all looking at her, knowing that she's hurting, but you yet will not obey. The Lord is not pleased with this. We got to come together as a people. I'm a great-grandmother. You know how I feel? You all should feel the same thing. You got children and grandchildren, and one day you're going to get old as me or older. You got to feel the needs of people. And as I was driving into the city, I don't live in the city anymore because I got fed up. I moved with my family, and they take care of me well. But the thing is this, as I was driving into the city, and I saw how the city trucks was throwing the trash, the people, beddings, and all on the, and which is good to clean up the city, no problem. But where are you going to put the people? I had a young lady ran up to my car. She began to cry all over me. She don't know where she's going, and this city has received a lot of money for the homeless. Do y'all understand that Donald Trump going to research your records? He's going to find out. I heard this morning where he opened up prisons to bring people to put them in jail. You don't want to go to jail, people. You want to do what's right. God has given us the ability to get wealth, and we can do it the right way. I love you all, and God bless and be with you and your families. Wake up, people. Love one another. God bless you.
Thank you. Next will be Kate Shanky, thank you. You have up to 2 minutes.
Thank you. I am here. I'm going to pull up my notes because I'm not much of a public speaker. I'm here to support Resolution 3328 in regards to Georgia State Patrol's chase policies. Georgia State Patrol was involved in 6,700 pursuits over 5 years. Sorry, thank you. Half ending in accidents, about a tenth in death, with not much oversight as to how they pursue, when they pursue. There was a high-speed chase on the 14th of last month, that killed my son. It happened 2 miles from I-20 on Moreland Avenue in the heart of Little Five Points at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. at night. Heavily populated area, again, 2 miles from where this officer first attempted to pull her over. In that 2 miles, there are about 12 traffic lights. They keep saying she ran one red light and hit I don't know if any of you are familiar with Moreland Avenue, and maybe going 80 miles an hour, you hit all the green lights. But there's no way that this was one time in a heavily populated area with the Edgewood Shopping Center there, Memorial in Moreland. I understand the weight of their job, but there needs to be some oversight when they're not someone who's not just laser focused on ending this crash. There is no other option for this sort of chase except a crash. And the crash is in Little Five Points. It could have been at Freedom Parkway. It could have been on Potts and Briarcliff. It could have been a family going to Target. But 80 miles an hour down that road, heavily populated, it's not the first time this has happened. I'd love it to be the last. I guess that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Bakhtiari?
No, please. Cooper, Katie, I'm proud to have called you family constituents, and I know how many people in our community helped raise Cooper. And I also know that your family is no stranger to loss, and I just have to really, like, watching you and your daughter go through this and actually lift all of us up for this loss instead of the other way around has been really extraordinary to witness. And I wanted to take this moment to draw attention to what you created. I'm going to leave it up there for anyone who's interested, but Katie and her family are already working to try to change policies at the state. And Cooper's loss should never happen again and never should have happened in the first place. I just wanted to continue to call attention to what y'all are working on. Sure.
I do hold the woman that was driving 100% accountable. Those were her actions. But there are also actions that could have prevented this.
Thank you.
That's all. Thank you.
Councilmember Lewis.
Our system of policing has been very aggressive in our area, and just to see that never should happen. And sometimes I actually see APD chasing young folks down the street. And so if it's not a murder, if it's not a robbery or a rape that just happened, why are we doing that for some of the stuff that is going on? So every condolences in the world to your family, every prayer I can to your family, but we have to stop this. We know what we're doing. We got to stop chasing these. We have to stop. It's been going on forever. And they say that APD doesn't do it. They do it down Cleveland Avenue. We see it. We see them drive down the street chasing people. And so let's stop it completely.
Thank you. Councilmember Bakhtiari, briefly.
Just real quick, thank you, Councilmember Lewis. I want to make sure people know that this was Georgia State Patrol and that we are going to do everything we can to change their policies and advocate for that. So I do appreciate the remarks, although APD does have a no pursuit policy in the city, but I just wanted to name that this is Georgia State Patrol and these high-speed chases are incredibly dangerous. So thank you, Katie.
Finally today, Scott Fleming, you'll have up to 2 minutes.
Hello, thank you, Council, for your support of Kate today. My name is Scott Fleming. I'm a resident of Candler Park. I live a block away from Moreland Avenue in the heart of Little Five Points. We've heard from many strong women today, many loving mothers, this close to Mother's Day. And I find it poetic that the City Council has celebrated motherhood and commended strong women earlier today that have helped brought life into this world. I'm here today to support strong women and here to speak for loving mothers. And it's fortunate the City Council has another opportunity today to support our mothers with Resolution 3328 to reform the Georgia State Patrol Pursuit Policy. This past weekend, as I walked across Moreland to lay fresh flowers at Cooper's Memorial, I reflected how a revision to this policy that has proven successful in other states can help our law enforcement better serve our communities and better protect our loved ones. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank all members of the public who came to speak today. We will now move to the report of the Journal. Madam Clerk.
Good afternoon, Council President, members of Council. I, Corinne A. Lindo, Municipal Clerk of the City of Atlanta, do hereby certify that the minutes of the regular meeting held on Monday, April 21st, 2025 are true and correct.
If there are no changes or edits to the minutes, I would entertain a motion to adopt the Journal. Moved by Councilman Winston, seconded by Councilman Shook. Is there any discussion on the motion to adopt the Journal? We can do this via unanimous consent without objection. Any objection? Madam Clerk, please sound the count of unanimous consent on the motion to adopt the Journal.
12 yeas, 0 nays.
12 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to adopt the Journal carries. Next, we'll move to communications. Madam Clerk.
First item, Mr. President, it's 25C0057. This is communication from Mayor Andre Dickens appointing Mr. Ricky Smith to serve as a member of the Aviation General Manager for the City of Atlanta. Staff recommendation to refer to the Transportation Committee and Committee on Council.
Let the item follow that course.
Mr. President, if I may take items 2 and 3 as a block.
Please proceed.
Item number 2 is 25C0058. This is a communication from Council members Liliana Bakhtiari, District 5, Alex Wan, District 6, and Matt Westmoreland, Post 2 at Large, reappointing Ms. Roseanne Maltese to serve as a member of the Water and Sewer Appeals Board. This appointment is for a term of 2 years to begin retroactively on March 4th, 2025, and expire March 3rd, 2027. Item number 3 is 25C0059. This is a communication from Mayor Andre Dickens appointing Mr. James Greg Early to serve as Commissioner of the Department of Watershed Management. For the City of Atlanta, staff recommendation for both items is to refer to City Utilities Committee and Committee on Council.
Let both items follow that course.
If I may take item 4, 5, and 6 as a block.
Please proceed.
Item number 4 is 25C0060. This is a communication from Tony Roberts, Executive Director and CEO of the Atlanta Bar Association, submitting the appointment of Mr. Miguel Dominez to serve as a member of the Atlanta Citizen Review Board. This appointment is for a term of 3 years. Item number 5 is 25C0061. This is a communication from Lyndon Waller, Deputy Director, Georgia Coalition for the People's Agenda, submitting the appointment of Ms. Angetta Jordan Estes to serve as a member of the Atlanta Citizen Review Board. This appointment is for a term of 3 years. Item number 6 is 25C0060. This is a communication from Mayor Andre Dickens, appointing Mr. Byron Gibbs to serve as a member of the License Review Board. This appointment is for a term of 2 years. For all these 3 items, staff recommendation to revert to Public Safety and Legal Administration Committee and Committee on Council.
Let all 3 items follow that course.
Mr. President, if I may take items 7, 8, and 9 as a block.
Please proceed.
Item number 7 is 25C0063. This is a communication from Daniel Hampton, Chair Audit Committee, submitting the performance audit report, paid administrative leave. Item number 8 is 25C0064. A communication from Daniel Hampton, Chair Audit Committee, submitting their performance audit report, service delivery, and remote work. Item number 9 is 25C0065. This is a communication from Daniel Hampton, Chair Audit Committee, submitting the performance audit report, timelessness of payments. For all 3 items, the staff recommendation to refer to Finance Executive Committee.
Let all 3 items follow that course.
Item number 10 is 25C0066. This is a communication from Council Members Dustin Hillis, District 9, Andrea L. Boone, District 10, Marcia Collier Overstreet, District 11, Antonia Lewis, District 12, and Ishe Collins, Post 3 at large, appointing Ms. Erica Smith to serve as a member of the Artificial Intelligence Commission. Staff recommendation to accept and file.
Let the item follow that course.
That concludes the communication items, Mr. President.
Thank you. Is there any vetoed legislation for consideration?
There are none.
Thank you. There are 2 items of unfinished business. We'll begin with 25O1163. This was tabled by Councilmember Westmoreland's motion. So I will ask Councilmember Westmoreland to see where we are with this. Are we
with I am unaware of any ability of this paper to move forward. I'm happy to make a motion that it continue to be held in the breast of council.
There's a
This
motion
is
by Council.
1163, right?
We are on 25O1163.
I'll make a motion to continue to table.
There's a motion to hold in the breast of council 25O-1163 by Councilmember Westmoreland. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilmember Juan. This is not debatable. It takes a 2/3 because we're on the second round, so we'll move directly to a vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to hold in the breast of council 25O-1163.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote?
Yeah, that one.
Will everyone please vote? The vote's closed. That's 12 yeas, 0 nays.
12 yeas, 0 nays. The motion carries. Councilmember Overstreet, do you have a question?
Yes, I have a question. We requested for this to be amended to add districts 10 and 11.
Yeah, we have that.
That's in here? Dog. Okay, so we just voted to hold. Should we amend it first?
No, we voted to hold the 1163. Then 3294 is coming up next.
Got it. That's not what my screen says.
Yeah, neither is mine. Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay, so 1163 is held in the breast of council. Next up on the unfinished business is 25R 3294. This was a item that was tabled by Councilmember Winston. So, Councilmember Winston, I'm going to ask you where we are with this item.
Thank you. I am going to turn it over to Councilmember Dozier, who has an amendment he'd like to offer.
Councilmember Dozier.
Thank you, Chairman Winston. Thank you, Mr. President. Colleague, this was alluded to earlier. There is a substitute in your inbox for this particular item. The item currently, as written, is a donation in the amount of $453,000 to In-Town Cares. The language of the substitute essentially splits that amount up over 2 fiscal cycles, with the first fiscal year contribution being $145,000, and then the second one for fiscal year 2026 being $308,000. The other change that was alluded to by my colleague, Councilmember Overstreet, is that as an additional, be it further resolve clause, with the following language, that any additional funds donated to In-Town Cares will be used to fund the case management program in Council Districts 10 and Council District 11 as authorized in 2023. So that's the substance of the substitute, and I would like to make a motion to adopt that substitute.
Second. There's a motion by Councilmember Dozier, seconded by Councilmember Faroki, to bring forth the substitute for 25R 3294. I believe everyone has this in their mailboxes. So I would ask, is there any discussion on the motion to bring forth the substitute? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to bring forth the substitute.
I don't believe so.
The vote is open. One moment. One moment. That's 12 yeas, 0 nays, Mr. President.
12 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to bring forth the substitute carries. We now have the substitute before us. I believe the caption does not change, correct, Councilmember Dozier? Correct. Okay. So there's now 25R 3294 as substituted is before us. Councilmember Faroki.
That motion to approve.
I'll second.
I'll take a motion to approve, seconded by Councilmember Amos. Any discussion on the
Dozier, President.
No, oh, sorry, Councilmember Dozier second. Sorry. Councilmember Faroki to move, Councilmember Dozier second. Is there any discussion on the motion to adopt 24R 3294 as substituted? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote.
The vote is open.
Sure, fine, whatever.
Will everyone please vote?
I'm trying to vote.
The vote's closed. 12 yeas, 0 nays.
12 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to adopt a substitute carries. We will now move to the consent agenda section 1. These are items that begin on page 6 of the printed materials. They are all items for second reading. Therefore, the appropriate motion will be to adopt. But first, let me ask, are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda section 1 today? Councilor Amos.
Sir, Mr. President, item number 25-0-1188, item 32 on page 15.
(25O-1188). Any other items to be removed from the consent agenda section 1? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adopt the consent agenda with one item removed. Moved by Councilor Bakhtiari, seconded by Councilor Wan. Any discussion on the motion to adopt the consent agenda with one item removed? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to adopt the consent agenda with one item removed.
One moment. One moment. Will everyone please vote? Twelve yeas, 0 nays.
12 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to adopt as with one item removed carries. Councilmember Shook.
Thank you. Thank you. Pursuant to a request by the Department of Finance, I would like to move.
Hold on, your mic's not on. We got Councilmember Shook's mic on.
I believe it is. Department of Finance has asked that I send the following 5 items from the consent report to the Mayor's Office post haste. They are 25-0-12-10, 25-0-12-11, 25-0-12-12, 25R3286, and 25R3291. That is my motion.
Councilmember Shook is moving 5 items to be moved post haste to the mayor's office. Is there a second? Second. Seconded by Councilor Juan. Any discussion on the motion to move these 5 items post haste? We can do this via unanimous consent without objection. Any objection? Madam Clerk, please sound the count on unanimous consent on the motion to move these items post haste.
12 yeas, 0 nays.
12 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to move post haste carries. Next, we will move to the consent agenda section 2. These are items that begin on page 40 of the printed materials. They are items for first reading. Therefore, the appropriate motion will be to refer. But first, let me ask, are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda section 2? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to refer. So moved by Councilor Juan, seconded by Councilor Bakhtiari. Any discussion on the motion to refer the consent agenda section 2? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to refer.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 12 yeas, 0 nays.
12 yeas, 0 nays. Motion to refer carries. We will now move to a report of standing committees. First up today will be Finance Exec. Chair Shook.
Thank you. We have 2 items, first of which is a communication 25C0041. This would be a communication from Daniel Hampton, Chair of the Audit Committee, submitting the performance audit report on Oracle time and labor. My motion is to accept and file.
Motion coming out of committee to accept and file 25C0041. It does not need a second. Any discussion on the motion to accept and file this item? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to accept and file.
The vote is open. It's 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to accept and file carries.
All right, and then we have 25-0-12-13. This comes forward favorable on condition of receiving a substitute. It's a council carry forward refresh paper that needed the appropriate account data plugged in. You have received the substitutes, and I will move to bring it forward.
Second.
There's a motion by Councilor Shook to bring forth the substitute for 25-0-12-13, seconded by Councilor Juan. Is there any discussion on the motion to bring forth the substitute? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to bring forth the substitute.
One moment. The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote's closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to bring forth the substitute carries.
All right, thank you. The caption's unchanged. Let me sound it. This would be an ordinance by Shook authorizing the transfer of funds from various council carry-forward accounts to the respective council distribution and expense accounts to continue serving the Atlanta community by funding projects for the public good within their district or donating funds for charitable purposes and for other purposes. Move approval on substitute. Second.
It's a motion by Shook, seconded by Juan to adopt 25-0-1213 as substituted. Any discussion on the motion to adopt this item? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to adopt as substituted.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote's closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to adopt substitute carries.
That is all.
Thank you. Next up will be the Committee on Council. Chair Collins.
Yes, so we, if there for Committee on Council, if there are no objections from the body, we would like to take items 1 through 7 as a block.
The objection? Please proceed.
All righty, so Communications 25-C-00341, communication from Mayor Andre Dickens appointing Ms. Candace Franklin to serve as a member of the Fulton County Library System on behalf of the City of Atlanta. The term limit is to be concurrent with that of the mayor. Item 25-C-00452, a communication from council members Dustin Hillis, District 9, Andrea Boone, District 10, and Isha Collins, myself, Post 3 at Large, appointing Ms. Arlisha McMichael to serve as a member of the Water and Sewer Appeals Board. This appointment is for a term of 3 years. Item number 25-C-00493, communication from Tony Roberts, Executive Director and CEO of the Atlanta Bar Association, submitting the appointment of Ms. Gabriella Cole to serve as a member of the Ethics Board. This appointment is for a term of 3 years as well. Item 25-C-00514, a communication from Council Member Marcy Carrier Overstreet, District 11, reappointing Ms. Jacqueline Sims to serve as a member of the Commission on Aging. This appointment is for a term of 4 years to begin retroactively on October 1st, 2022 and expire September 30th, 2026. Item number 25-C-00525, a communication from Sajira Jones, President, Atlanta Planning Advisory Board, also known as APAB, submitting the reappointment of Ms. Corrine Dent to serve as a member of the Atlanta Beltline Tax Allocation District Advisory Committee. This appointment is for a term of 2 years. Item number 25-C-00536, a communication from Sajira Jones, President, Atlanta Planning Advisory Board, submitting the appointment of Ms. Barbara Leith to serve as a member of the Keep Atlanta Beautiful Commission. This appointment is for a term of 2 years. And item 25-C-00557, a communication from Mayor Andre Dickens appointing Ms. Angela Bowers to serve as a member of the City of Atlanta Americans with Disability Act Advisory Committee. All of these items have come before the Committee of Council with favorable recommendations, and the recommendation is to adopt.
There's a motion coming out of committee to adopt these 7 items. It does not need a second. Is there any discussion on the motion to adopt these items? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to adopt these 7 items.
The vote is open. The vote's closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. Motion to adopt these items carries.
Great. This brings us to our regular agenda item, starting with item number 8, which is ordinance number 25-0-1204, An ordinance by Councilmember Michael Julian Bond to amend the City of Atlanta's Reparations Studies Commission established by Resolution 23-R-4351 and to modify its membership and remove the sunset date and for other purposes. Our recommendation is to adopt.
The motion coming out of committee to adopt 25O-1204. It doesn't need a second. Any discussion on the motion to adopt this item? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to adopt.
The vote is open.
The next item that we have.
Will everyone please vote? Vote is closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to adopt carries.
Our next item is resolution, item number 25-R-3324, a resolution by the Committee on Council appointing two members of City Council to positions on the Budget Commission to be filled by two members of this governing body nominated and confirmed by the governing body at large for a one-year term for the purposes of performing the duties and responsibilities of the commission in connection with the fiscal year 2026 budget for the City of Atlanta and for other purposes. We have forwarded this with no recommendation, and this item comes before the body with no recommendation. My colleagues, we will need to substitute this item on the floor to add the names of the members of the body who will serve as members on the Budget Commission. If no members have been nominated, then we'll need to conduct a ballot vote at this time.
Believe that we will conduct a ballot vote unless there are nominations. Councilmember Shook.
All right. I am aware that Mr. Wan and Mr. Dozier have graciously offered to serve in that capacity, and so I will nominate those two.
Okay.
There's a nomination by Councilmember Shook for Councilmembers Wan and Dozier. Are there any other nominations heard from the floor? All right.
Yes.
Then Chair Collins.
Yes, President Shipman.
Would you like to substitute?
Yes, absolutely. Would like to make a motion to substitute item number 25-R-3324 to reflect a resolution by Committee on Council appointing Council members Alex Wan and Council member Jason Dozier to the two positions on the Budget Commission to be filled by this governing body and confirmed by the governing body at large for a one-year term for the purposes of performing the duties and responsibilities of the commission in connection with the FY 2026 budget for the City of Atlanta and for other purposes.
There's a motion by Councilmember Collins to bring forth a substitute reflecting Wan and Dozier to serve in these positions. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilmember Bakhtiari. I'm just going to take a point of personal privilege. Is Councilmembers Wan and Dozier okay with this? Yes. Okay, good. Just so we don't get too far out of whack. Is there any discussion on the motion to bring forth the substitute? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Madam Clerk, please. Actually, Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to bring forth the substitute.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. Motion to bring forth the substitute carries.
Great.
Since this came forward without a recommendation, I'll need you to move it.
Okay, and so now I will move to approve item number 25-R-3324.
There's a motion by Councilmember Collins to adopt 25-R-3324 as substituted. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilmember Overstreet. Any discussion on the motion to adopt as substituted? Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to adopt as substituted.
The vote is open.
Okay, well, I'm just making sure.
Will everyone please vote? The The vote is closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to adopt as substitute carries. Councilor Chair Collins, anything else today?
No, Mr. President, that ends my report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up will be the Zoning Committee. I believe that Vice Chair Hillis presided. So, Vice Chair Hillis.
First item is 240-1022 U23-26, 1492 Piedmont Avenue Northeast, Suite B. The ordinance is for a special use permit for outdoor dining at eating and drinking establishments, and also without objection, we'll take the items together as they're both to be filed. Next item is 240-1198 Z-24-15, 1101 Moreland Drive Southeast, and 1721 Woodland Avenue Southeast. The ordinance is to rezone from R4 single-family residential to MR2 multifamily residential. The recommendation of the committee is to file those two items.
There's a motion coming out of committee to file both 240-1022 and 240-1198. It does not need a second. Is there any discussion on the motion to file these two items? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to file.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to file these items carries.
I have been asked to deal with one held item, so I'll make a motion to enter committee of the whole.
There's a motion by Councilmember Hillis to enter committee of the whole. There's a second by Councilmember Lewis. Any discussion on the motion to move to committee of the whole? We can do this via unanimous consent without objection. Any objection? Madam Clerk, please sign the count on unanimous consent on the motion to move to committee of the whole.
13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The motion carries. We're now in committee of the whole. Vice Chair Hillis.
Thank you. The held item to deal with is 240-1709 Z-24-90 3260 Catamarick Drive Southeast, 913 Hutchins Road and 895 Hutchins Road Southeast. The ordinance is to rezone from PDH Plan Development Housing to PDH Plan Development Housing for a major site plan amendment. I will make a motion to amend.
There's a motion to amend by Councilmember Hillis 24-0-1709. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilmember Shook. Could you talk about the amendment?
Council members have received an email with the amendment. It's just a change in the conditions that was previously discussed at the ZRB hearing.
Any discussion on the motion to amend? I'll give everybody a moment to make sure that they have it in their boxes. Right, Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to amend 24-0-1709.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to amend carries.
I'll make a motion to approve as amended.
Can I make a motion to add one final amendment to this, one sentence to this? After speaking with the zoning department, the law department, and my colleagues, there's one sentence that I wanted to add to this at the top. And
so, Councilmember Hillis, hold on, just Councilmember Lewis. Councilmember Lewis, hold on just a second. Councilmember Hillis, would you withdraw your motion to adopt? So we'll go ahead and do it.
Withdraw my motion, but
thank you.
I would like to hear from the law department.
And after speaking to the zoning department and colleagues about a sentence that we wanted to do after discussing with the law department as well. Go.
Good afternoon, Amber A. Robinson, City of Atlanta Department of Law. The amendments as proposed that were the council has just moved to adopt, to accept as an amendment, were confirmed to have already been before the zoning review board, and so therefore have had their public hearing, and the paper would be ready for adoption following those amendments. Any additional amendment would have to have the same confirmation that the ZRB has in fact had its public hearing considering that. So unfortunately, I do not have that information about the additional sentence, but that would be necessary to confirm to ensure that the ZRB has in fact had the public hearing on anything additional.
Okay. And I can respond to that. You've seen.
I just want to make certain that the record reflects what is the sentence.
Got you. Thank you. So that way, because the ZRB have seen it and the zoning review board has seen it, that sentence, it makes this a stronger legislation sent to us from the zoning board, from the zoning department. This site shall be developed in accordance with the site plan entitled Hutchins Road, prepared by Gaskins and LaCroix, dated February 4, 2025, and stamped, received, and amended by the Office of Zoning and Development on February 4, 2025. Minor changes to the approved site plan may be authorized by the Director of the Office of Zoning and the Development in accordance with Section 16-02.003 in parentheses 7. And reason being, to make it to where this legislation, this site can't be changed without coming back to the department, coming back to the city of Atlanta. And this makes it a stronger piece of legislation for us and the community that I actually live in.
Okay, so just procedurally, you're moving to amend with that sentence.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and make that motion to amend with that sentence. I'll come back to law in just a second. Is there a second? Is there a second? Seconded by Councilmember Westmoreland. Okay. So is there a way to email that to your colleagues, Councilmember Lewis?
Yes, there is.
Thank you. So let's move to discussion on the motion to amend, Councilmember Westmoreland.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is my not only understanding, but I'm looking at 24-0-1709, which has been held in the zoning committee for I don't know how long. The sentence that Mr. Lewis just read was on the list of conditions that we just amended. So I'm proactively attempting to say that it's my understanding that it would have gone before the ZRB because it was on the conditions list that has been held in committee, if that makes sense. And thus, the sentence he just read, hopefully there would be no issue with adding it back in because it was listed as a condition until 45 seconds ago.
It was the one thing that we removed and we put it back in. And I sent it out to colleagues right now.
Thank you. Law, have any comment on the viability to adopt?
Yes, I mean, if that sentence was reviewed by the ZRB during its public hearing, there's no problem with moving forward with adopting the legislation thereafter.
Great. Any other discussion on the motion to amend as proposed by Councilmember Lewis? Okay. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to amend 24-0-1709.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to amend carries. Chair Hillis.
Yes, thank you. I'll make a motion to approve as, I guess, doubly amended.
There's a motion by Councilmember Hillis. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Lewis to adopt 24-0-1709 as amended. Any discussion on the motion to adopt as amended this item? Hearing none, we'll move to vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? Vote is closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to adopt as amended carries.
I'll make a motion to exit committee of the whole.
There's a motion by Councilmember Hillis, seconded by Councilmember Lewis to exit committee of the whole. Any discussion? We can do this via unanimous consent. Any objection to the motion to move out of committee of the whole? Madam Clerk, please sound the count on unanimous consent.
13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The motion carries. We are now back into regular session. Vice Chair Hillis.
I'll now make a motion to adopt all actions taken in committee of the whole.
There's a motion by Councilmember Hillis to adopt all items taken during, to adopt all actions taken during committee of the whole. Is there a second? Seconded by Councilmember Lewis. Any discussion on the motion to approve all the actions? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to approve all the actions in committee of the whole.
The vote is open. The vote's closed. 13 yeas, 0 nays.
13 yeas, 0 nays. The motion carries. Vice Chair Hillis.
Thank you, Mr. President. That completes the report of the zoning committee.
Thank you. Next up will be the Public Safety Legal Administration Committee. Chair Boone.
Thank you, Mr. President. We do not have a report today.
Thank you. Next will be the City Utilities Committee. Chair Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. President. We do not have a report today.
Thank you. Next will be Community Development Human Services Committee. Chair Winston.
Thank you, Council President. Keeping that trend going, we do not have a report today.
Thank you. Finally, today will be the Transportation Committee. Chair Amos.
And my colleague had to use the analogy of keeping the train going, because I do have a report today. We actually have 4 items coming to you. First is 25-0-1189. This is coming to us favorable on substitute on condition. The condition was the legislation to be amended to add the verbiage waiving the source selection provision in the code, and that has been satisfied. So I will read this because the caption will not change. The substitute ordinance by Transportation Committee as amended by the Atlanta City Council waiving Part 2 Code of Ordinance, General Ordinance, Chapter 2, Administration, Article 10, Procurement and Real Estate Code, Division 4 of the Atlanta City Code of authorizing the mayor or his designee on behalf of the Atlanta Department of Transportation to execute the Third Amendment to IFBC.202-208-123-0054-2021 Elmid Street Resurfacing Project Group 2 South with the Magnum Paving Company to add funding in an amount not to exceed $8,725,205.46. All contracted work shall be charged and paid from the account listed herein and for other purposes. And I guess I do have to make a motion to amend.
There's a motion to amend by Councilor Amos, seconded by Councilmember Dozier. Is there any discussion on the motion to amend 25-0-1189? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to amend this item.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 14 yeas, 0 nays.
14 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to amend carries.
Mr. President, that I read is the substitute, the amended caption. So at this motion, at this time, I make an adoption to, I make a motion to adopt as amended.
There's a motion to adopt 24-0-1189 as amended by Councilor Amos, seconded by Councilor Juan. Any discussion on the motion to adopt this item? Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to adopt as amended.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 14 yeas, 0 nays.
14 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to adopt as amended carries.
Thank you. Next item is 25-0-1192, an ordinance by 25-0-1191. An ordinance by Transportation Committee authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority on behalf of the Atlanta Department of Transportation for the purpose of reimbursing MARTA for resurfacing the general purpose lanes of Hank Aaron Drive and part of the MARTA Rapid Summerhill BRT project in Fulton County, Georgia, in an amount not to exceed $6,304,300 $12, authorizing the chief procurement officers to issue purchase orders under the MARTA agreement and for other purposes. This comes to us favorable, 5 yeas, 1 nay. Motion to adopt.
There's a motion to adopt coming out of Committee 25O-1191. It does not need a second. Is there any discussion on the motion to adopt this item? Hearing none, move to vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to adopt.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? Mr. Councilmember Hillis? The vote is closed. 14 yeas, 0 nays.
14 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to adopt carries.
Yes, sir. Next item is 25-0-1218, an ordinance by Councilmember Byron D. Amos authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute a third amendment to Agreement FC-9034 on-street parking management program with SP Plus, all-in-one joint venture on behalf of the Atlanta Department of Transportation to extend the term of the agreement on a month-to-month basis to begin on April 1st, 2025 through October 1st, 2026 to waive Chapter 2, Article 10, Division 4 of the Procurement and Real Estate Code of the City of Atlanta, Code of Ordinance, insofar as it shall be necessary to authorize the actions authorized hereby and for other purposes. This comes to us favorable on condition, and I have a colleague like to speak to the condition.
So the condition has been met, is that correct?
Yes, condition has been met.
So there's a motion coming out of committee to adopt 25-0-1218. Does not need a second. Is there discussion? Councilmember Dozier.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the condition has been met. We did ask that we have a work session scheduled to talk about this larger issue around curbside management, about parking management. And so even though we are moving forward to have that work session, we still need to lock in a date for the actual event to take place. And so colleagues, I know David's been doing a phenomenal job reminding all of us to serve on the Transportation Committee to share your availability so we can get that date locked in. And so my ask and my request in support of our chair is to make sure to get the information back to Mr. Johnson as soon as we can so we can get that work session scheduled. But the condition has been met. Looking forward to have that conversation with the department and to be able to move forward on this issue.
Is there other discussion on the motion to adopt 25-0-1218? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to adopt this item.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote?
Money bags.
The vote is closed. – 14 yeas, 0 nays.
14 yeas, 0 nays. The motion carries.
Mr. President, last item is the one that was pulled from consent. That's 25-0-1118. This item was pulled from consent to amend the legislation to correct the project number. Motion to amend. And I will read the motion to amend this item, and it will change the caption. Ordinance by the Transportation Committee as amended by the Atlanta City Council authorizing the mayor or his designee on behalf of the Atlanta Department of Transportation to accept federal funds through the Atlanta Regional Commission and the Georgia Department of Transportation for the development of South Downtown pedestrian enhancements. Georgia Department of Transportation project number, it is listed in the amount not to exceed $2,800,000 to amend the fiscal year 2025 intergovernmental grant fund budget by adding to anticipations and appropriations of SEP funds in the amount of $2,800,000 to enter an agreement with the Atlanta Regional Commission, the Georgia Department of Transportation, Federal Transportation Administration, and other partner organizations for acceptance, anticipation, appropriations, and implementations of fund and for other purposes. Motion to adopt.
Blazers, your motion to amend, correct?
Motion to amend, yes.
It's a motion to amend by Councilmember Amos, seconded by Councilmember Dozier, and I'm assuming that that caption is the new caption,
It's the
correct?
amended caption, yes, sir.
Any discussion on the motion to amend this item? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to amend 24-0-1188.
The vote is open. The vote is closed. 14 yeas, 0 nays.
14 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to amend carries.
Mr. President, ends my report. Thank you.
I think, Councilor Amos, I think you want to adopt, correct?
Oh, yes, definitely want to adopt. Motion
Okay.
to adopt.
Just want to make sure. Yes, so there's a motion to adopt by Councilor Amos, seconded by Councilor Dozier, 24-0-1188. As amended, any discussion on the motion to adopt as amended? Hearing none, we'll move to the vote. Madam Clerk, please open the vote on the motion to adopt this item as amended.
The vote is open. Will everyone please vote? The vote is closed. 14 yeas, 0 nays.
14 yeas, 0 nays. The motion to adopt as amended carries.
Mr. President, my second closing, that ends my report.
The train has stopped. I believe that concludes all of the reports of standing committees and our items. We will now move to personal papers. I don't see any today for immediate consideration, so we will move to those for referral. Let me reiterate that I try to follow the clerk's list, and for some reason, Councilmember Hillis is first today.
Got to do what you got to do. Helms ID 37921, an ordinance by Councilmember Dustin Hillis authorizing the mayor as designee to execute a quitclaim deed conveying the city's interest in property located at 0 English Street Northwest, Atlanta 30318, Fulton County Tax Parcel ID number listed in an amount not to exceed $1.00 to B&M Associates LLC for the purpose of returning the property to its owner in order to correct an error in the conveyance of the property and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37921 will be referred to the CDHS committee.
Completes my items. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Amos.
Yes, sir. AMS number 37930, ordinance by Councilmember Byron D. Amos and Councilmember Dustin Hillis to amend Part 16, Chapter 18H of the 1982 zoning ordinance of the City of Atlanta as to amend so to create a new section 16-18H.004 to create regulations for short-term rentals in the Home Park neighborhood and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37930 will be referred to the zoning committee.
AMS ID 37891, a resolution by Councilmember Byron D. Amos authorizing the City of Atlanta to donate a total amount not to exceed $150,000 to the West Side Future Fund pursuant to Section 6-306 of the City of Atlanta Charter to support the creation of affordable housing on formerly blighted and distressed properties, authorizing the mayor as designee to enter into a donation agreement which shall detail the actions of Westside Future Fund in the redevelopment of blighted properties, to authorize the chief financial officer or his designee to make the donation authorized hereby from the accounts listed herein and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37891 will be referred to the CDHS committee.
AMS number 37927, ordinance by Councilmember Byron D. Amos to authorize the conveyance of approximately 5.44 acres of city-owned property located at 2327 Donnelly Hollowell Parkway, 0 Bankhead Highway, and 2445 Donnelly Hollowell Parkway to Lead Center for Youth in exchange for approximately 7.36 acres of a privately owned land on Bolton Road for the purpose of expanding the city park system and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37927 will be referred to the CDHS committee.
AMS ID 37934, ordinance by Councilmember Byron D. Amos to create a tenant landlord mediation board to facilitate fair and efficient conflict resolution within the City of Atlanta and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37934 will be referred to the CDHS committee.
AMS number 37933, ordinance by City Council Member Byron D. Amos to establish a multifamily rent escrow account program in the City of Atlanta to address habitability violations for landlords and provide for the administration of escrow accounts and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37933 will be referred to the CDHS committee.
That's the last one, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Boone.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. President. Elms ID number 37875, a resolution by Councilmember Andrea L. Boone affirming the City of Atlanta's support for second chance employment initiatives, recognizing the importance of fair chance hiring practices in reducing recidivism and advancing economic equity, and encouraging city departments, employers, and community partners to implement policies that support the successful reentry of justice-involved individuals and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37875 will be referred to the Public Safety and Legal Administration Committee.
Elms ID number 37868, an ordinance by Councilmember Andrea L. Boone authorizing the mayor, his designee, to amend work order number 2 under agreement IFBC 1210241, installation of traffic calming measures with Georgia Paving, Inc. to add funding in an amount not to exceed $300,000.00 for the purpose of installing additional traffic calming measures to waive Chapter 2, Article Division 4 of the Procurement and Real Estate Code of the City of Atlanta, Code of Ordinances, insofar as it shall be necessary to authorize the actions authorized hereby and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37868 will be referred to the Transportation Committee.
Next item, Elms ID number 37894, an ordinance by Councilmember Andrea L. Boone waiving Part 2, Code of Ordinances, General Ordinances, Chapter 2, Administration, Procurement and Real Estate Code, Division 4 of Atlanta City Code to execute the First Amendment to Emergency Procurement Agreement EPCON DWM 2403-120246, small meter installation with Titan Unlimited LLC on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management to extend the term of the agreement retroactively effective from January 15th, 2025 through January 14th, 2026 to ratify services rendered with the agreement beginning January 15th, 2025 through the execution of the First Amendment to add funding to the agreement in an amount not to exceed $300,000.00. All contracted work will be charged to and paid from the fund department organization and account listed herein and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37894 will be referred to the City Utilities Committee.
An ordinance by Councilmember Andrea L. Boone waiving Part 2, Code of Ordinances, General Ordinances, Chapter 2, Administration, Article Procurement and Real Estate, Division, Atlanta City Code to execute the First Amendment to Emergency Procurement Agreement, EPCON DWM 2403-1240-246 B4, small meter installation with KM Davis Contracting, Inc. on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management to extend the term of the agreement retroactively effective from January 15th, 2025 through January 14th, 2026 to ratify services rendered with the agreement beginning January 15th, 2025 through the execution of the First Amendment to add funding to the agreement in an amount not to exceed $2,700,000.00. Contracted work will be charged to and paid from the fund department organization and account number listed herein and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37895 will be referred to the City Utilities Committee.
Next item, Elms ID number 37931, a resolution by Councilmember Andrea Boone requesting the mayor, his designee, to install no parking signs to restrict parking at 3825 Bakers Ferry Road and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37931 will be referred to the Transportation Committee.
Elms ID number 37892, an ordinance by Council Members Andrea L. Boone, Michael Julian Bond, Myra D. Amos, Dustin Hillis, Ishay Collins, Jason Winston, Jason Dozier, and Matt Westmoreland, authorizing a payment in an amount not to exceed $24,000.00 from various accounts to the City of Atlanta Office of Cultural Affairs to pay for expenses related to the 2025 Jazz Festival events and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37892 will be referred to the Finance Exec Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilmember Dozier.
Thank you, Mr. President. One item today, number 37932, a resolution by Councilmember Jason Dozier and the Mayor Farokhi authorizing the mayor or his designee on behalf of the Atlanta Department of Transportation to execute a project management agreement with the Atlanta Downtown Improvement District for downtown pedestrian wayfinding in an amount not to exceed $3 million and 0 cents. All contracted work to be charged to and paid from the fund department organization account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
Items ID 37932 will be referred to the Transportation Committee.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Farokhi.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Two papers, items ID 37936, an ordinance by Councilmember Mayor Farokhi to rename Peace Avenue Northeast as Edna Moffett Street Northeast, to waive certain provisions of Section 138-8 of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances and for other purposes.
Items ID 37936 will be referred to the Transportation Committee.
And items ID 37940, a resolution by Councilmember Mayor Farokhi authorizing a donation in an amount not to exceed $5,000 and 0 cents in the District 2 discretionary fund account to the Georgia Municipal Association pursuant to Section 6-306 of the City of Atlanta Charter and for other purposes.
Items ID 37940 will be referred to the Finance Exec Committee. Councilmember Lewis.
Thank you, President. Elms ID 37893, a resolution by Councilmember Antonio Lewis authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute the Second Amendment to Agreement IFB-C 122027, Sewer Group 4, Small Diameter Rehabilitation Contract A with Ruby Collins Incorporated on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management to add funding to the agreement in an amount not to exceed $33,228,305.05. All contracted work will be charged to and paid from the fund department, organization, and account numbers listed herein and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37893 will be referred to the City Utilities Committee.
Elms ID 37896, a resolution by Councilmember Antonio Lewis authorizing the mayor or his designee to execute cooperative agreement on behalf of the Department of Watershed Management pursuant to Section 2-1602 ET square of the Atlanta City Code, utilizing for a term of years with renewal options in an amount not to exceed all contracted work to be charged and paid from the fund department, organization, and account number listed herein and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37896 will be referred to the City Utilities Committee.
Elms ID 37834, a resolution by Councilmember Antonio Lewis requesting the Commissioner of the Atlanta Department of Transportation to conduct a traffic study on Rockwell Street to convert Rockwell Street from a two-way street to a one-way street and for other purposes.
Councilmember Lewis, is that 843 or 834?
834.
834. Elms ID 37834 will be referred to the Transportation Committee. Thank you. Councilmember Overstreet.
Thank you. Elms ID number 37939. A resolution by council members Overstreet, Lewis, Westmoreland, Hillis, Boone, Bond, Dozier, Farokhi, Bakhtiari, Shook, One, Collins, Amos, and I'm missing one. Winston. A resolution by those council members authorizing the City of Atlanta to donate a total amount of not to exceed $1 million to the Atlanta Regional Commission and Propel ATL pursuant to Section 6-306 of the City of Atlanta's Charter to continue supporting electronic bike initiatives throughout within the City of Atlanta, authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into any necessary agreements to effectuate the donation, and authorize the chief financial officer to or his designee to make all payments from the accounts listed herein and for other purposes.
Elms ID 87939 will be referred to the Transportation Committee.
Thank you. Elms ID number 37864, a resolution by council members Marcy Collier Overstreet and Andrea L. Boone, authorizing the mayor or his designee to issue task order number B-1 under contract number RFP REFDAM 2406-124 0312 vertical and horizontal job order contracting large
with EDT TECO SD CCJV for the design and construction of Zone 4 Police Precinct on behalf of the Department of Enterprise Asset Management in an amount not to exceed $8,775,357.88. All work to be charged to and paid from the accounts listed and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37864 will be referred to the Finance Exec Committee.
A resolution by Elms ID number 37784, a resolution by Councilmember Marcy Collier Overstreet authorizing the mayor or his designee to exercise the second renewal option for SPPS DHR 2304-1230294, third-party consultant with PRM South Incorporated on behalf of the Department of Human Resources and for a term of 1 year effective from June 12, 2025 through June 11, 2026 in the amount not to exceed $134,776.00. All contracted work will be charged to and paid from the fund, department, organization, and account number listed herein and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37884 will be referred to the Finance Exec Committee.
Okay, last one. And Elms ID number 37928, an ordinance by Councilmember Marcy Collier Overstreet to rezone a portion of 2099 Fairburn Road Southwest from R4 Single Family Residential to C1 Community Business District for the erection of a freestanding sign and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37928 will be referred to the Zoning Committee.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Shook.
Thank you. Elms 37874, resolution by Shook authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Microsoft Unified Services, support services utilizing a State of Georgia Master Service Agreement between the State of Georgia's Department of Administrative Services and Microsoft Corp. On behalf of AIM in accordance with a section listed here, use of state contracts in an amount not to exceed $3,558,037. All contracted work to be charged to and paid from, etc.
Elms ID 37874 will be referred to the Finance Exec Committee.
Elms 37883 is a resolution by Shook authorizing the mayor to enter into a special procurement agreement with Carasoft Technology Corp. For LinkedIn services on behalf of HR for 2 years with 2 one-year renewal options in an amount not to exceed $228,319.75, with all contracted work being charged to and paid from, etc.
Elms ID 37883 will be referred to the Finance Exec Committee.
And Elms 37885, resolution by Shook authorizing the mayor to execute the third amendment to a sole source agreement, pre-employment background screening services with Hire Right on behalf of HR to add funding for background screenings, bringing the total amount not to exceed $384,044, and to update the funding accounts from which the contracted work will be charged to and paid from and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37885 will be referred to the Finance Exec Committee.
That is all.
Thanks. Councilmember Juan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Elms 37929, a resolution by Councilmember Alex Juan, requesting that the mayor or his designee to install traffic calming devices at the western ends of both Orm Circle Northeast and Elmwood Drive Northeast in order to reduce speeding and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37929 will be referred to the Transportation Committee.
Elms 37935, an ordinance by Council Members Juan, Bakhtiari, and Westmoreland authorizing a donation in an amount not to exceed $5,000.00 from various carry-forward accounts to Lambda Legal pursuant to Section 6306 of the City of Atlanta's Charter and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37935 will be referred to the Finance Exec Committee.
Elms 37937, ordinance by Councilmember Alex Juan to amend Chapter 10, Alcoholic Beverages of the City of Atlanta Code of Ordinances at Section 10-52 to revise the signage requirements for alcohol licensees and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37937 will be referred to the Public Safety Committee.
And finally, Elms 37938, an ordinance by Councilmember Alex Juan to amend Chapter 74, Article 4, Noise Control, Section 74-132E, exclusions to ensure quality of life for residential neighborhoods adjacent to city parks and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37938 will be referred to the Public Safety Committee.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Winston.
Thank you, Council President. First is Elms 37942, A resolution by Councilmember Winston requesting the mayor as designee to make the intersections of Sydney Street Southeast at Broyle Street Southeast and Sydney Street Southeast at Oakland Avenue Southeast all-way stop control intersections to request the Atlanta Department of Transportation to install stop signs at the intersection and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37942 will be referred to the Transportation Committee.
Elms ID 37941, a resolution by Councilmember Winston requesting the mayor as designee to make the intersection of Crumley Street Southeast and Fraser Street Southeast and always stop control intersections to request the Atlanta Department of Transportation to install stop signs at the intersection and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37941 will be referred to the Transportation Committee.
Elms ID 37865, a resolution by Councilmember Winston authorizing the mayor or his designee to exercise the third renewal option of the agreement number listed for Summer Food Services Program with Mills Pro Inc. on behalf of the Department of Parks and Recreation for a term of 1 year, effective July 15, 2025 through July 14, 2026, in an amount not to exceed $90,680.00 to be charged to and paid from the funding accounts listed herein and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37865 will be referred to the CDHS Committee.
Elms ID 37866, an ordinance by Councilmember Jason Winston authorizing the mayor or his designee on behalf of the Parks and Recreation to accept a reimbursement grant pursuant to the United States Department of Agricultural Child and Adult Care Food Programs in an amount not to exceed $790,680.00 to establish a dedicated grant account to manage the reimbursable grant funds for the numbers listed, Summer Food Services Programs with Mills Pro Inc., and to be charged to and paid from the funding account listed here and for other purposes.
Elms ID 37866 will be referred to the CDHS Committee.
Thank you.
I believe that concludes the items for referral today. With that, we will move to general remarks. Let me just start by reminding everyone to submit their campaign reports by May 7th. That is on Wednesday, so don't forget. Other general remarks, Councilmember Shook.
Thank you. Every spring as the swallows return to Capistrano and the buzzards to Hinckley, Ohio, so the Atlanta City Council will begin its review of the mayor's proposed FY26 budget tomorrow at 10 o'clock right here in this historic chamber. We will go until 4 with a break for lunch. Thank you. Thank you.
Councilor Bakhtiari.
It's hard to follow with that level of poetry, but I'll try. Really quick, I misspoke on the mic earlier around APD and GSP. I wanted to correct what I said. Someone thankfully flagged me on this. I wanted to clarify one thing. APD does not have a no pursuit policy. They have a pursuit policy that places some limits on chases, but I believe that there are people that are meeting with Chief tomorrow to discuss about policy changes, but I did want to clarify that I was incorrect earlier and name that. So that is all. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Dozier.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to thank the members of the public who came out to a couple of our events this past weekend. On Saturday, we hosted a youth job fair in partnership with Atlanta Public Schools. We had over 200 families come out to support and to find job opportunities, get headshots, get their resumes done, and get some great connections that came out of that event. So thank you for that. And then on Sunday, we had a phenomenal event with kicking off Jazz Fest season in Mosley Park in District 4. Thank you to all the families and neighbors and community members who came out to see some wonderful live music out in the park on a wonderful Sunday with no rain. So thank y'all.
Councilor Ramos.
Yes, sir. Work anniversaries. We have our wonderful clerk, Ms. Lindo, has been with the city for 8 years. And then we have our very own desktop technician, Ms. Joseph, who's been with the city for 7 years. So congratulations to both of them. And then acknowledgments, definitely want to acknowledge the #1 world group Outkast for being nominated and ultimately inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Want to bring recognition to the District 3 Jazz Festival that'll take place this weekend in Washington Park at 4 o'clock. Yeah, it's Jazz Festival time. Then I want to say happy birthday to my granddaughter, Callie, turning 4-year-old. And then, of course, to my niece, who is a recent graduate of TSU, Tennessee State University. Congratulations to her as well.
Other remarks? Councilor Bond.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just want to announce that the ATL Fresh and Free drive-through food distribution will be this Wednesday, May the 7th at 2 p.m. at the Israel Baptist Church on Hosea Williams Boulevard. Of course, there's no prerequisite to receive this benefit. And if you don't need it, please pass the word to someone else, you know, given the inflation and the tariffs, et cetera, but no shame in the game if you need to come by and get some help. Also on May the 18th, I want to say congratulations to my nephew, James Bond, who will be graduating from Morehouse College.
Hey.
So congratulations, James.
Any other remarks before we adjourn? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please sound the final call.
Council President Doug Shipman.
Present.
Councilmember Michael Julian Bond. Councilmember Matt Westmoreland, Post 2 at Large. Here. Councilmember Ishay Collins, Post 3 at Large. Councilmember Jason H. Winston, District 1.
Here.
Councilmember Amir Faroki, District 2.
Here.
Councilmember Byron D. Amos, District 3.
Here.
Councilmember Jason Dozer, District 4.
Here.
Councilmember Liliana Bacchiari, District 5.
Here.
Councilmember Alex Wan, District 6. Councilmember Howard Shook, District 7.
Oh, sorry.
Councilmember Dustin Hillis, District 9.
Here.
Councilmember Andrea L. Boone, District 10. Councilmember Marcy Kohler Overstreet, District 11. Councilmember Tony Lewis, District 12.
Without objection, we stand adjourned. Thank you, everybody.